I have a copy of the paper for Joshua's. I don't have a pony head link for that one, unfortunately. Let me... Okay, I got bugles here that I'll post in just a second. Let me pull up stream again on this computer. Working off a couple machines here at the moment.
Oh, one thing that might be relevant on Bugle's side is that he does have Party of One.
Party of One may... that's very true. That may do some decent damage against Joshua in this fight.
Yeah, if he gets Party of One and... Yeah. It's just like, how fat does Joshua's board state have to be okay?
That's true.
And how well can Bugle avoid the...
Alright, so that first link is for Bugles. Let me try to get a copy of Joshua's here. This one will be a little lower quality.
Well, I hope we have a good game regardless of... Yeah. I'm sure it'll be good. Well, I mean, it'll be grindy, and everybody else will think it's awful, but we know it'll be a good game. Oh, man.
What do you mean? Those are my favorite games.
Go by Pokemon rules.
Pokemon rules.
Before the match. Sure, yeah. That is actually a required step for setup in Pokemon.
Oh, that Bugle is correct. That is true. You must shake hands with your opponent legally in game.
It's true.
Alrighty. I have a link here to an image of both deck lists from the round one, or the first game that we commentated today. Joshua's is among those two deck lists, so you will be able to see those. So sorry that is a little sideways there. Joshua's list there if you're able to read that.
It will almost certainly be posted on the Interplay Facebook. I'm not speaking as if that is a promise and I'm an Interplay representative. But it almost certainly will be up there. And it'll almost certainly be thrown on the Reddit.
If you guys want to give me a second here too, I can pull up a pony head for it, build that real quick. Let's see, are we getting a start here yet?
It looks
So
like
we're starting to get problems.
Well,
Give us just a sec here. I'm actually trying to make a pony head for it for you guys real quick, just to have. Good thing to have, I think.
Yeah, like $100 minimum's on the line here, man. Yeah.
oh man.
Do you care about the creative arts? Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, oh, that's a really good point. I need to keep this game clean. Okay, 20 minutes.
All right, sorry about the silence, guys. Almost done with this pony head here for you.
It's just gonna be long moment. Okay, like action with this or okay. So, however you want to do it, I guess. If I make any errors,
Let me see.
I'll try to talk through everything. I'm gonna skip a couple of steps because there's a lot of action steps. But, like, I'll stay on.
Three mansion sites, really?
Two, I apologize. Let's see.
I prefer let's do it. I've done my roll the whole time.
Alright, still deciding who's going first. Again, sorry about the silence. Almost done here for you guys.
Yeah, the shining armors too.
Yeah, that shining armor might help him out a little bit too. Barrel Destiny Drained. Joshua also running a copy of that Destiny Drain. Put a little bit more pressure on Bugle, who does not have one.
Bugle has a Destiny. He doesn't have a Destiny Drain?
Nope.
Wow, okay. Huh.
Continental, finally. It took 4 years and like over, not 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 regionals. 9 months. Oh, this is the first in anywhere? Huh?
That's
Nowhere has control one. That is interesting.
that's weird. I always feel like there's like decks missing or something like that. Because like last year, I would have felt pretty confident with what's it called? With Cruel Mistress. I would have felt I was like, this is probably the best, but now probably not.
Like before today, you would have been confident. You mean? Or?
I mean, I would have I don't know. I would have probably given Bugle's deck a whole lot harder of a look. But I was talking about like last year's. If I went to last year's Continental without a Tanaba, without Tanabas existing, I would have probably went with Cruel Mistress, and I would have felt much more confident because I wouldn't have to worry about bag as much. I mean, it existed, but it wasn't nearly as powerful. So I don't know.
There we go. And sorry about that wait, guys. There's that second link for you.
No, it's Vicious Vengeance. Great first turn.
Revengeance.
Revengeance.
Alrighty.
So now we
Getting
know.
started here.
Yeah, we're playing a.
Is it 50? I didn't even notice. That DJ deck is 50 cards. Joshua's.
I don't think going over 45 is actually that big of a deal in this game.
I don't think it's as big of a deal in this game as it is in others, especially with DJ. With DJ.
Like with Yu-Gi-Oh, with like Yu-Gi-Oh or something, card advantage is so huge that missing a draw is like a serious loss.
It really is. I do agree with that though. Final Sight saying that they'd replace one of Bugle's nap cakes, one of those copies of nap cakes, with a drain. I completely agree with that. I think drain
I don't think
solves a lot of big problems, and we haven't really seen those nap cakes be useful. I imagine they're in there for a reason. They probably help against aggro, and being able to draw into them, be able to guarantee that you're going to draw into them is probably nice. But today those have not done a whole lot that we have been able to see.
Yeah, I don't think that was the best choice. I'm not like I didn't have a nap cakes. Like it's a great card, and I wish I could throw it in, but I don't think I'd ever feel the need that for two. I mean, maybe there's some situation that Bugle's trying to account for that I'm not aware of.
We're seeing the deck shuffled as those DJ mains flip as they turn over. Very important step. There's a player in our scene who is always reminding us, don't forget, you got to shuffle. True.
Yeah,
Got
it's
yellow
very
pair spread out.
it almost feels superfluous.
It really does. You don't know where anything is on turn 2.
I mean, yeah,
Got a
and
barrel coming out from Joshua. Yellow pair spread on the board for him already, and Bugle playing that paper twi early.
it would be relevant if your opponent was stacking and you waited to flip your main, but I think it's absolutely way better to just flip your
Go
main.
right away, absolutely, I think. Getting a barrel on the board already, I guess just trying to get it out of his hand, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe he's overhand and he wants to keep all those cards.
Oh, that hurt.
Getting that Ursa Vanquisher Parisprited. Not fantastic for Bugle.
That's another really strong option that Joshua has available for him. He actually has yellow Parisprites, so he's able to strike random cards out of the opponent's hand over time, or potentially can do so.
The ability
and
to
then
knock
Destiny Drain.
Yeah, the ability to knock those out of his hand with that Destiny Drain that Bugle doesn't have. The ability to not need to recur is hard. The ability to replace problems with those just climbing around and those epiphanies, being able to bring back stuff on the fly. I think those things will make a difference in this fight, for sure. Bugle having a lot of extra tech that doesn't really do a whole lot in this fight. Those Zikoras being one of them. Keeping mains from being able to contribute power during a face-off. Not that DJ almost ever leaves the home. Very, very rarely are they moved off of the home. We saw it once last game just to confront, speed the game along a little bit from Bugle. probably think the first time we'd seen that done up until, in this whole tournament on stream at least so far.
Yep. So Bugle plays a troublemaker over there.
Very likely, probably not an Aramaspy. Likely that Changeling Mimics. I don't think he'd go out of his way to drop an Aramaspy at this point. Those being the 2 troublemakers that Bugle has, and those are equally likely. He's got 3 of each.
Yep. Let me see here.
Tied at 0 points. I mean, it's pretty much hopeless. Okay,
So I'm wondering.
Pretty much hopeless, they say.
I don't know if anyone has like a very strict. I know what I'm going to do in this matchup. I know what Joshua probably wants to get rid of. The F stops. He wants to strike the F stop and Destiny drain it. I think that's probably the strongest play he could make.
I think so. I think that would be pretty game defining.
Yeah.
Final Sight saying that utterly drained is pretty annoying. I very much agree. I think that's a good choice in this kind of tournament. People rely real heavily on their mains, and sometimes don't expect a card like that. They don't expect that main ability to be turned off, and especially in a fight like this, with the ability to creep ahead with that card advantage. Josh, if he is able to utterly drain that DJ, probably put him in a pretty good spot over the course of the game. Again, one of those invisible advantages that's kind of hard to account for. You never know what cards you're not drawing. You never know what options you could have had but don't right now.
Yep. And utterly drained is a pain, and the longer it sticks on the main, particularly if it's something like DJ, the rougher it is, the more you're actually getting value out of it. One of the things that kind of turned people away was there wasn't other resources that were problems for people, so they would just spend their thing to get rid of that.
True.
But now there's enough resources, there's enough of a problem to where, you want to be able to get rid of all. You have to make choices, Same with, like we were talking about with Farm, where having just those small single options to one card for a little while is becoming less and less sufficient.
Yeah, if you're not really taxing your opponent, if you're not really keeping those cards off the board, keeping them from doing what they need to do, it's not quite enough. Way back when the game was super fast and, a single confront was worth a lot, a popping corn could be game ending. Nowadays, you're just like, well, that's kind of annoying. It's really these games where you've got these prolonged effects, something that's sitting there, chipping at your opponent the whole game, or giving you that advantage for the whole game, that are really prominent.
All right, so Bugle lays down a beatdown.
Breakdown.
Breakdown. God, Irish freaking.
Josh will not be able to exhaust these paper twice.
Yep, and also
Actually,
Bugle
I think
has
it might be his
mimics.
discard there.
Yes, I think Bugle already hit it. Hence why it's exhausted.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't notice
So
that
Bugle's
come
kind
up
of
for a second.
hoping, it's like, hey, you should not have another one. You shouldn't have one of your own right now.
Yeah, don't have a breakdown. Even though Joshua runs the 3,
Utterly
drained.
Oh, no. I really like that card.
It's
I don't mind the
fantastic, I think.
choice,
Yeah.
like, at all. I just think it's like, yeah, it's an alright one.
You are never in a situation. There's one main where it doesn't really matter, but you're next to never in a situation where you're like, an opponent's main's ability, who cares? They can have it. No, you pretty much always want that gone. That's always helpful. If they're using the main, it's for a reason, and if that reason is gone, so is a lot of the power of their deck typically.
Yep. Let's see.
Party one.
It's kind of rough, but until those F stops are gone,
Yeah,
it's all negligible.
It's a card he probably wants eventually, but until he has white, until Joshua's got a lot of things on the board, that's something he can afford to have in a grade. That card is not going to get drained. And again, if he is in a position where he needs it, he will be able to play it. He'll be able to pull it back eventually. He'll be fine without that in hand for a while. Gaining that extra AT while he can in case a breakdown comes out. We're seeing a Rainbow Shine come out, get exhausted. We're going to reduce the cost of Special Beam Cannon down to 0.
The nap cakes could help Bugle quite a bit because he'll be
Oh,
able to
he'll
put
be able
those
to hit those
beatdowns.
breakdowns the instant they come
breakdowns.
out. You're right.
Yeah. So we're finding little advantages and disadvantages as we comb through these decks.
So we'll have to see what options are available to each of these players.
Yep.
Exhaust that DJ as he is able to, as Bugle was not for a brief moment.
Yep. Bugle just paid 1 to draw. That's the cost he had to pay, and the special
Paying
being
1 to
cannon
draw
and
is
discard.
posing nothing to draw. It's truly a sacrifice.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do it. Also, Bugle basically paid less over that period. So, Bugle has a decent board state right now. It's not devastating, but it's pretty good.
Slightly
He's
ahead,
slowing
easy to
his
turn around.
opponent
We've got a
down.
breakdown on the board there.
We have a breakdown in hand, too, as well as a dilemma.
I'm guessing if I were Joshua, I'd probably want to drop something like a paper twice, something a little less useful. Maybe a Rainbow Shine, exhaust it, get its effect off an event, bait Bugle into exhausting that breakdown of his own so that he can play his own to kill it.
Yeah.
Something like that. And Bugle only has 2 copies of that card. So losing one of them is kind of a big thing here. You only have 1 copy floating around in that deck. And no easy way to get it back.
All right. So, let's see what he does. I'm not anticipating anything in particular right now. Let's see here. Early drained is annoying. I'd say Josh's deck is really missing some
TM
removal.
removal. Nightmare Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare Star could probably mess him up pretty hard as well. Where Bugle had that cracking in the case. Joshua may have had more trouble against Richard if those Nightmare Stars came out. He doesn't really have a whole lot to deal with those.
Okay, so Bugle is slowly, getting the board state he kind of wants.
Slowly pulling ahead there.
Ooh,
What was that?
yeah. It was a photo finish.
Okay, not something he wanted to lose, really. He's got another one. He is able to get him back.
Yep.
Getting him back means exhausting cards, though, and that's not something that either of these players want to have to do.
Joshua discarded the dilemma. I'm not sure about that move.
I'm not sure I agree with that one either, actually. I think that problem deck is definitely going to help out Joshua a lot in this game.
Yeah, Buell did get a strong start for this game. Not a whole lot of stuff, but he is banking a ton of AT. Meanwhile, Joshua has to kind of... All right. Okay.
Yes, Final Sight, you can. So that is his biggest thing. That is part of why he's running those Vicious Vengeances. That Chrysalis Epic. You can Twinkle Shine an Epic onto an Epic. If that happens, a uniqueness violation is created. Since both of the cards that are creating the uniqueness violation are owned by different players, the player who created the violation, in this case Joshua with the Twinkle Shine, would choose which of those 2 cards remains. So he would be able to pop out the Nightmare Star in that case with his own Chrysalis. So that is about his only removal option for those, and that actually did end up happening in a game earlier. He did remove an Epic at some point with the Twinkle Shine like that. I don't remember exactly what he did. Oh no, his opponent was going to farm a yellow Parasprite of his, and he popped a Twinkle Shine behind it, replaced that yellow Parasprite with one of those Vicious Vengeances. That opponent did not. Well, they did win that face-off. They just didn't score anything because their target wasn't there anymore. We haven't really commented on this Mimics down below. That's something that's going to be helping Bugle out a lot. But I think that's going to also have a big impact on this game.
Does Joshua not run Mimics?
Yeah, there are no Mimics. He's got 3 copies of that yellow Parasprites and 2 copies of Vicious Vengeance.
Okay.
Those are his troublemakers, just those 5. So that may push Bugle ahead over the course of this game here.
Yeah, he's going to be able to lay out that heavy taxation. Okay, so they just they just kind of sped through that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bugle's just like, well, I play that and then I play F-stop and then I score a point.
Just okay. I know what's there. Barrel F-stop. There it is. I score. All right. Moving on. They both know where they are. Neither one's trying to stall out the other. I don't even know that there would be a hard cap on the very final game. But
Almost certainly.
they both know what they're doing. They both know what's in these decks. Neither one's trying to slow down the other. They're both just trying to move.
Okay, so yeah, Bugle's just kind of paying the
One, get
small
that paper
tools.
toy off the board.
If he keeps if he keeps an advantage,
Exactly.
one of the Napcakes might become a very powerful tool for Bugle in this fight, because he's able to, like, if Joshua plays a beatdown, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put it on top of your deck. I pay less. I pay equal to less than you, but I have the AT generators to pull ahead.
I'm already in the advantage state, so.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to probably be Bugle's bread and butter here, is actually just achieving the
Get
state
out
that
enough
he already
stop.
has.
You'll pay 1 to get that Napcakes back. Pay 1 to play the Napcakes the instant Joshua plays one of those breakdowns. And that will protect the F-stop, so that he can get back other things on the fly if he needs to. That said, again, Joshua has more of those breakdowns than Bugle does, so he may just be able to drop multiple copies in a turn and get his destruction anyway. In addition to his 3 copies of Food Fight and his 3 copies of Belly Flop. So there's a lot of destruction running around. Or I'm sorry, is it does he have Belly Flops? Let me see here. Not Belly Flop. His 3 Pinky's Epiphanies is his other destruction option. In addition to Pinky the Party Planner.
Yep.
Party Planner being
So-
a little less useful in this fight. It can only hit something with 3 or more power, which is in this deck pretty much just photo finish, but still nice destruction option for 1 cost. Gyro coming out. Bugle searching for
Belly Flop.
Belly Flop. There it
Yep,
is.
that's pretty good. And he could just destroy that.
Just sack
Rainbow
that
Shine.
Gyro to it.
Yeah. It's probably the reason he threw it in there.
Is he going to get rid of the Rainbow Shine, do you think? Or do you think he's going to hold on to it for like a breakdown?
I'm not sure. Like, it's probably,
I'm going to guess he's going to hold on to it.
yeah. He's just gonna be like, well, if you use it, I'm gonna blow it up. So.
Bugle at first opportunity, exhausting that Rainbow Shine to reduce the cost of that Belly Flop if he does decide to play it. He'd be able to play it for free, destroy that Gyro. Bugle did confront again and score another point, I
Use
believe.
Epiphany, that's
Yes,
not
he did.
bad.
Drawing into an Epiphany, helpful for him.
Not sure do we know where Joshua's AT is being represented?
I believe he's had tokens in the middle of the board there.
Okay. I couldn't see him. Let's see what chat is saying here.
That is true. That Parasprite drop is gonna make it a little hard for Bugle to hold on to anything super safely, like that Belly Flop.
Yeah, basically, Bugle will be a little vulnerable to Destiny Drain. I don't know if Joshua, because Joshua's not doing too much at the moment. Okay,
Got
Shining
the Shining
Armor.
Armor coming out.
Alright, not bad.
May get Belly Flop right away.
Yeah.
9 power on that Shining Armor. 3 costs for 0 power, but it gains 1 power for every card in the owner's hand.
Yep.
Well, in the controller's hand.
Yep.
We're gonna Belly Flop it right away. Stop that confront. Pop that Gyro. 0 cost. Because that cost was reduced by that Rainbow Shine earlier in the turn.
Yep. This is one of the things that I found with like purple, white, and just anything with F-stop is if you get F-stop super early with a lot of AT generation, you already have a massive advantage.
And Applebean, that is something that we saw last game. There were Nightmare Moons sitting on the board for a lot of the last game when Bugle was fighting Richard Owens with a farm deck. Was that Bugle didn't really care about these Nightmare Moons attacking his hand too much, at least against farm. In this matchup where he kind of needs to hold those immediate events for more opportune moments, it might make a difference. But last game, he would let his hand be attacked, Nightmare Moon, discard, whatever, who cares? F-stop, and then he'd have the card he needs for Richard's turn. He'd throw it. It'd be usually a Frozen Magicite to shove Richard's main home. He'd be in his grave on the next turn. Nightmare Moon hits. Card's already gone. No threat there.
Yep. Nightmare Moon. If you have an F-stop, Nightmare Moon is actually probably more harmful to most decks than you. as long as you have the F-stop out there. If you don't, then it's kind of scary, because you could lose the F-stop. F-stop's a good card, everyone. It's probably the best friend in the game.
I might agree.
Oh.
See Snips and Tails come out, using that to pop that yellow pair of sprites.
Well, we'll see what
We might see a fire one ready come out. There it is. Joshua will be able to move or play a friend there to replace the other problem as well. That will get Bugle out of his guaranteed purple on his trading traditions. It will get rid of that changeling mimic, so that is that opened up a lot of room for Joshua. That said, the yellow pair of sprites is gone, so that opened up a decent position for Bugle as well. We'll have to see what problems come out to see who that's going to work out for. We're F-stopping back in Napcakes. Might be more impactful than we thought. Not scoring any points this turn, let's be honest. Going to go ahead and Napcakes that Rainbow Shine, locking Joshua out of his purple.
Yep, that is actually pretty strong. What options does Joshua have to recover
He
from
has
that?
3 copies of Barrel.
Okay. And Bugle doesn't have any immediate removal, so...
Yep. So Joshua, as long as he doesn't discard them, as long as they're not hit by anything, and there's nothing to hit them with, really, if he doesn't make the mistake of leaving them on the board and letting them get Destiny, or Special Beam Cannoned, Bugle does not have any immediate resource dismissal, nor does he have any hand attack. So Joshua will safely be able to re-enter purple over and over, so... definitely slowing him down, not the absolute most impactful of plays, just because he can pretty much be guaranteed to get back into his color. But if he has to do it every turn, that's just him falling further and further behind.
Yep, and we gotta... Let's see here.
Joshua does still have that breakdown in hand. Probably doesn't want to throw it and use it right away at the fear of it getting breakdowned. But if he could get rid of that F-stop, that would be a useful step.
Yep. If he gets Destiny Drain, then he's really in a good position. And Bugle will probably end up struggling quite a lot, because one of the things when it comes to using just singletons the whole time is you don't get a whole lot of consistency until you just gyro F-stop, then you have all the consistency you could ever want.
But until that point, yeah, you're kind of a rough spot sometimes.
If anything, Joshua... Sorry.
If those F-stops go, he will be in a pretty rough spot. So I think that's the play to pursue at this point.
Yeah, I think that's what Joshua's kind of leading towards. Again, Bugle got a really strong opening. But, we'll just have to see.
Looking at that Epiphany.
Yep. He can't play it right now because he needs some more pink.
Very true. Could drop the breakdown into the Epiphany. Don't think he has the AT to do too much right now. Discarding Portal, discarding Minuet. Cards that I really don't think are going to have a whole heck of a lot of an impact this game, honestly. So, not the worst cards to throw.
Definitely. Oh man. Okay.
Falling off a little.
Yeah, I'm falling off a
It's
little.
been a long day. There's been a lot of cards.
Been a lot of talking for 8 hours.
Final Sight saying they hope that Bugle called resources on that Changeling Mimics.
He probably wants to stop him from playing any purple.
Yeah, that's. So we'll see what Bugle calls with that Mimics. Very cool to see Bugle running the card that he helped create.
Yep.
Into finals again.
It's a phenomenal card.
Really strong.
Okay. Oh yeah, he doesn't go with the sneak attack either, so he's just trying to draw him.
Yep.
Yep.
If we can get 2 of those Mimics out, and we're gonna pull that Napcakes maybe. There's some Napcakes down there. Looking through the grave, we're pulling. Is that Beam Cannon? I think.
Might have been. Didn't quite catch it.
Confront. Impossible.
Impossible. Oh wait, DJ, you have another ability since when? Could DJ actually?
I agree though, Final Sight. If 2 Mimics come out, they both call resources, it's going to be real hard to enter purple again. That'll be 7 AG to re-enter that purple.
Yep.
And that is, again, that is Joshua's only tool to re-enter that if he doesn't happen to flip through the whole problem deck back into trading traditions.
Yeah.
We're seeing breakdown, or we're seeing breakdown come out
Good.
at that fire when ready. That will replace both problems. That one mimics is gone. We're seeing, what was that came out? Family Feud, is that what we see? No, we're seeing his one copy of Halfway Across Equestria. Bugle flipping into blackmail, though.
Wow.
Not something Joshua
Not
wanted
good.
to see.
Not good. Whoa, what? Is he calling it? I think they're calling it.
I think so.
Wow.
Keep playing for a bit, but since you soared from it, it's very clear.
Joshua calling it. He's
Yep. Wow.
conceding
Okay.
that first game 3 points in. I think it was a little early to call it for certain, but it was starting to look pretty grim pretty early.
Yeah. Bugle just got he got the F stop and 2 cost reductors. Mm-hmm. That is again like I've done that. It's absurdly strong.
Yeah. Free events every turn while continuing to set up and further your board state and score. There's not a whole lot you can do to get out of that situation.
That's one of the luxuries I enjoy with Ambassador of Friendship is you gain even more consistently, so you get that kind of option.
The further
very
ahead you
early.
get, the further ahead you get.
Yeah, it is staggering how powerful certain things are. Like
When they stack on themselves like that.
yeah, I'm just like, oh, we're getting, well, you're getting 2 AT, but I'm getting 5. So I'm going to, I'm just going to play F-Stop and save this cutie pox.
Complete this board state. Here's some troublemakers. So you will continue to gain only 2 until I have my whole machine running, at which point I will never allow anything to happen. And I think that's kind of what we just saw.
That's basically like the angel wings of control.
That's true.
It's just like, wow, that's strong.
Guess I lose.
Yeah, it's just like, well, you got the good thing real early.
Shake hands.
There you go.
GG.
Yeah, that blackmail, I would have been disheartened. I don't know if I would have quit. But
I
been like,
probably wouldn't have called it that early. That said, it probably wasn't unreasonable. While it's one of those, yeah, he maybe could have won. Numerically, chances seemed real though. It was a real grim position. May not have looked like it that hard that early. I think that's a respectable call. Just, you know what, this one's lost. I think didn't do what I needed to. Got some stuff. Stuff didn't go well for me as I needed it to. We'll call it round 2 before I get while my thinking is still fresh, while my focus is still here. Let's see if I can fix that up before I just get too drained.
Yep. And well, yeah, I completely forgot how powerful that is. I completely forgot how getting F-stop early, having nap cakes or a whatever is extremely strong.
Yeah,
so I think
what do
that's probably Bugle's ace in the hole in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Is all right. I have I got a paper twi and I got a rainbow shine and now I have an F-stop and gyro. I got the thing I need.
I think and it may not have been very much of an option in this kind of match, but I think one thing that I haven't really seen a whole lot of just at all in tournament is against these really grindy decks, against these decks where it's like, okay, I've got blackmail, I'll sit here for 12 turns. That gives the opponent 12 turns to try to break out. If you can, if you let your opponent get too close to winning, if you let your opponent get to 13 before you do anything, you're probably done for. But I think frequently it is an option to just hold AT for 5 turns, try to hold on to 20. I play a friend, Napcakes. I draw it, I play it again. Cool, I've still got 15 AT to work with.
Yeah.
Enter my color, drop a friend, drop a friend, drop a friend, drop a friend. Here's an event, board state's mine now. I'm 6 points behind, but you don't have anything. And I haven't seen anyone go for that just pass turn 5 times in a row kind of thing. That is an option, I think.
That is something that I think a lot of players suffer from is just antsiness, like
The
feeling
need.
they need to do a thing when it's just like, no, you might take a small hit. However, overall, you'll have more AT than them, and that's really important to holding it, making a better lock.
Not a fantastic example, but I think the best one for me and what taught me that lesson kind of early on in the life of this game was during the second set. I was playing a tournament match. I can't remember if it was a store championship or regionals. I think it was just a store championship back when those were a thing. I was playing a pink-white aggro deck versus a blue-white aggro deck, I think, back when confronting a problem got you its bonus points right away. I was at 0 when my opponent was at 12, I think it was. And I managed to score 15 in one turn because I held AT for like 3 turns.
It's true.
So that is an option in some cases. Less so for this kind of deck, I think, but you can turn things around. He's got that destruction.
That's one of the things about Rainbow Shine, actually, is that while it has that great ability where if your opponent is aggressive, then you're getting extra cards. So it's like, okay, you do aggressive, then I'm going to draw a bunch of cards. Like that was Bugle's advantage, kind of. Like that's why Rainbow Shine was working really well with him there. But if you don't use the ability, you can't bank that ability.
Yeah.
Unlike Factory Jack, where it doesn't have that awesome thing where you get free draws, but you're
getting the AT. If there's not a threat of an even ground, and that's one thing I've really liked about our stream so far. If there's a card I don't like just in this game in general, and I think it needs to exist a little bit for the health of the game.
Yeah.
But if there's one card that just drives me up the wall, it is even ground.
Yeah.
And if there's no threat of that coming out, you can hold AT. These players do not really effectively have a time limit right now. Holding for 6 turns, 25 AT, 1 explosive turn, that can turn a game around.
Yep. Jerkface. Another reason why I think, pending we get, there's this set coming up, because we do have another set coming, everyone. And maybe even another one.
Possibly
Jerkface
too.
could be crazy.
True.
Because if you can be like, if purple white or something, if you can make it to where basically fear is too expensive too early to unfear something, and you have Jerkface out, you win. True.
Torches with some rally taxation and an even ground, that'll do damage.
Like purple.
For those who don't know, it's a lot of play groups calling Rainbow Dash Even Ground a 2/2/2 blue card that makes players lose their action tokens at the beginning of their turn, right before gaining them.
Yeah. So that
Jerkface.
So just to clarify, it's I lose the AT that I banked, and then I get the rest of I get my new AT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the fresh stuff.
If you're only gaining 2 or 3 a turn, and you're in a position where there's a torch frightening for free every turn, and you're having to retire those cards, and it costs it costs +1 or +2 to rally your friends, you can't bank. You can't play anything without it dying for free. You lose. There's not a play out of that.
Yep. So thus far, we haven't seen anything successful with that, but I always keep it in mind at this point, because once I saw the Zomponies, I was like, huh.
Hard card to get out early.
Those don't come out early. But, like remember that Zombra main I kind of thought of, where it was like, oh, this Zombra main, you have to fear a thing to flip it. Oh, wait, I shouldn't talk about this.
I guess that's true, yeah. Homebrew stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
But
cards that
not that
increase the cost of rallying can be very disruptive. We are starting game 2 here, though. We've got a study session out on Joshua's side already. Already a fantastic opening.
Yep.
It's definitely something you want to see early in this kind of fight. Rainbow Shine out to reduce the cost of Pinky's Epiphany, of Food Fight. If Joshua can get a breakdown out early, double study session, we're already looking at a slower game. If these breakdowns come out, friends do enter play exhausted at the moment. So if a breakdown comes out from either player, they will be able to do some damage with those. All 3 Aramaspies in the grave from Bugle already.
Alright, so we're seeing probably a yellow Parasprite. Wait, does Bugle... Wait, what about Bugle's thing? Sorry?
What's up? Oh, all 3 Aramaspies in the grave on Bugle's side already. And a Troublemaker down from Joshua. Probably yellow Parasprites again, I imagine. Not too much of a reason for him to throw a Vengeance. Almost certainly a Parasprites.
Yep. So Joshua's looking like he's in a better board state right now, but that could change. Bugle very well advised in what he needs to do in any situation.
Got a Troublemaker coming out. We know what that Troublemaker is, for certain. Because there are 6 Troublemakers, 3 of which are Aramaspies, 3 of which are Changeling Mimics, and we see 3 Aramaspies on the board already. So, what that Changeling Mimics is could be anyone's guess.
Yep. So we got a beatdown, and we also have duplicator or dip and pull.
Interesting.
So we can
Wow,
actually
so yeah,
copy his
breakdown
beatdown
into
or
2 dip
breakdown.
in the pool. So we could have 3 copies of that friend on the board already, which is very scary.
Yep.
Something that could be kind of relevant in this game is while Joshua does have 3 copies of Study Session, Bugle has the special beam cannon that can banish those, where Joshua only has the Mayor to destroy them. Or does it banish? Does Mayor banish?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So if Joshua is able to get rid of both copies of Bugle's Study Sessions, that could leave him in a really good spot as well.
Yep. Also, Mayor Bear is semi-immediate.
Seen 10 cards in hand.
Yep. Bugle's digging for probably special beam or gyro to special beam.
Here's an F-stop, not something you wanted to see die.
Very scary to
That's
see. Because,
very much not something he wants in the grave. Joshua's already immediately digging through his hand. He's like, "Do I have Destiny Drain?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want it right now. What I would give for a Destiny Drain."
Yep. Changeling mimics, so it's gonna take a little longer for the Destiny Drain to hit. Bugle is probably already thinking, well, I really need that F-stop to pull this out. Does Joshua one paper twi? I actually haven't seen it.
There was the one that died very early on last game.
Okay, yeah, he does have paper twice.
Gyroing the board exhausted. We're going to search for... I'm going to guess cleaning up to get that F-stop out of the grave. Not something he wants in there right now.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh.
Belly flop, interesting.
Okay. So perhaps he isn't too worried. And then Bugle plays he plays Exchange, and it's an immediate card, and it's right when Joshua pulls Destiny Drain, he watches Joshua's face, and he's like, there it is.
And then we're like, oh no, I didn't know we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole time. I don't know how I made it this far in this tournament. I've been playing the wrong game this whole time. For Nation... hello, Natron.
Hi.
This is Game 2 of Finals. Bugle won first game. He got a pretty strong board state early on. Joshua... Bugle snips and snails into a Fire When Ready in Joshua's problem deck to try to get rid of a yellow pair of sprites. Joshua pushed something up to that Fire When Ready, and a blackmail came out on Bugle's side, which just kind of sealed the deal. Any hope Joshua had of trying to pull his way out of that situation, that first game, kind of died with that blackmail coming out. So he just folded right away.
And also, Bugle had a really strong board state right away. He got F-stop, and he played Paper Twi turn 1. Then he got Rainbow Shine. Then he got F-stop and Beatdown, and that was like, okay, you have every tool you need to keep me away from doing stuff.
F-stop was on the board. Breakdowns were on the board. Rainbow Shines were on the board. It was nasty. I don't think any study sessions came out game 1.
Nope. Now we got
study
2
sessions. I guess I'll go ahead and repost these deck lists in chat, just for those who don't have them. I'm using a mouse on one computer, and I've got my hand on the other computer, trying to input keyboard shortcuts. Brilliant. Alrighty. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, and really, Joshua's deck is really innovative.
There.
I really like it.
I do think it's pretty fantastic.
Like, I'm like, I might not make all of these choices, but a lot of these choices I really, really like.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We're gonna see what's getting sniped out of Bugle's hand here. There's those deck lists, by the way. One copy is a bunch of events. That's Bugle. The other has a few just clowning arounds. Yellow pair of sprites. That's Joshua's.
We should watch from the direct thing. So yeah. So let's see.
We have not seen any confronts yet.
Nope. Not to my knowledge.
We had a few friends out on the backside of Bugle's copy of Trading Traditions. They entered exhausted, and that breakdown went down before that Rainbow Shine, or before they were able to unexhaust and confront. Any troublemaker that Bugle plays right now, we know is a Changeling Mimics, because all 3 of his Air Maspies are at the bottom of his grave right there, visible on camera. So we know exactly what that face down card is. Not sure if Bugle has called events or resources with that Mimics. I imagine it's events at this point. Last game, I believe he was calling resources. He got Joshua out of his purple, and Joshua's only option to re-enter his purple, if his Trading Traditions is gone, is Singing Barrel.
Yeah, so Bugle's looking at 2 Changeling Mimics. That's always an extremely powerful board state.
Yeah, it's a
even
really
if he's
scary
missing
position to be in.
even if he doesn't have a lot of friends, it's like, well, it's way too expensive for you to do anything, so eventually I'll have the time.
He does at least have that Vicious Vengeance in hand, so
Yes.
that will
Josh
be able
was-
to override one of them.
Just was playing the beatdown. That's not a bad choice because it's going to be unexhausted before Bugle's exhausted one if he plays.
If he plays
without
one, would
this.
be able to kill it, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Dip in the Pools in hand.
Yep.
Maybe able to copy that breakdown. Even though those events are likely the cards that are being taxed. Bugle draws. Bugle discards. Bugle, just to know, Bugle does have a copy of F-Stop in the grave, and Joshua does have 1 Destiny Drain floating around in his deck. If that F-Stop is to be Destiny Drained, while there are none of them on the board, that will leave Bugle in a very weak state. Seeing Magical Misfire go down. Not quite the most dangerous card for Joshua. He does have a little bit of recursion in the form of Pinky's Epiphany, but that is about it.
Doesn't quite, not at all.
Yeah, not quite, not at all, but very little.
I forget how that phrasing works in the Metalocalypse episode, where it's like, what I can't quite
Not
do a little is not a bad job at all, or something like
You're
that.
just like, yeah, that's what I would have said too.
Yeah.
All right,
Like,
you're
I know-
seeing that second Mimics come out. I imagine they're both. It could be events and resources. It could be both events. It could be both resources. Don't think resources are the most helpful thing for Joshua right now. Aside from possibly utterly drained, he doesn't need Singing Barrel. He doesn't need a second study session. So it's probably events that are called. Being taxed by 6 action tokens, turning Dip in the Pool into a 9-cost card, and Pinky's Epiphany into a 9-cost card as well. That is 5 turns worth of action tokens at this point.
Yep. The earlier you get those Changeling Mimics out, the better. Really, it's just
Really
any
strong.
kind of taxation like that. It's just like, oh, it's going to be really hard for me to play 1 card while you can play 3 cards while I wait.
If Joshua is able to find that Destiny Drain, paying 9 rather, to get rid of Bugle's F-Stops is probably still worth it.
Yeah.
If he can survive this state, and there aren't any F-Stops to keep Bugle ahead, he can likely fight his way out of it. He's got more destruction. Bugle won't be able to get his friends back. He won't be able to get back into those copies of cleaning up. Into his 1 copy of cleaning up to re-enter key cards in his grave. Bugle fine with just letting that F-Stop sit there.
Yep,
For now, he might
it
not
is
have
safe.
He might not have too many options.
It is safe for a good amount of time. Until then, I think Bugle is probably just looking for a special beam cannon, and he'll probably. Oh wow, he plays the Mare.
Drops that Mare. Gonna try to get rid of that study session. Dropping the Mare, not the worst option. Definitely doing it while he can before a breakdown comes out on Bugle's side. Even if that breakdown does come out, it will come out exhausted, so that Mare will be safe. Joshua, however, again, will have to pay probably around 9 action tokens to play the event for that Mare to be able to destroy that study session.
All right.
Seeing what that Paris will hit. Seeing Food Fight go down. Not supremely big of a loss. Joshua not running many cards that have 3 or more power. Food Fight only being able to target cards with 3 or more power. Friends with 3 or more power. So not the biggest loss by any means.
So Bugle got Party of 1. That's another thing that would be really useful if he could play it. I don't know if he has a Singing Barrel. If he does, then might be a fine play right now. He'd
Wait
get
a
rid of a
turn.
lot of stuff and be able to continue to slow down his opponent
Yeah, absolutely.
while he waits to grab what he needs.
That'd probably be a really strong option. Get rid of one of the 2 Mares, Get rid of one of the breakdowns. Rainbow Shine's always a good thing to have gone.
Passing his turn. Okay.
If he has that barrel, I think there's a really good chance that Bugle will try to drop that party of 1 on this coming turn.
Now, either Bugle's hand is looking like really nice right now, or he's really confident that those changeling mimics aren't going away. And I mean, he has a big bank. He still has both his purple and his pink. So
He's got a bit of AT. He may have a Napcakes in hand.
yeah, I'm sure he does. And in which case I don't know what he
Probably
hit the
that
mare.
Mare.
Yeah,
I think that would be the right choice.
Yeah, because then it'd be like, okay,
That Rainbow
well,
Shine
let's-
only really dragging these events down to 8 cost instead of 9. Breakdown, a threat, not the biggest at the moment.
Yeah.
Protecting these mimics though is highest priority. That's buying him a lot of breathing room.
And it's looking like he might have to deal with 2 yellow Parasprites. I didn't see exactly what Joshua set down.
I'm almost certain that is a Vicious Vengeance. I think he's trying to get rid of one of those mimics.
That makes sense. He wants to open up an opportunity.
If that Vicious Vengeance comes out, that being an epic will override that mimics, free up some AT for Joshua. Discarding a dip in the pool, doesn't have the AT to play it anytime soon. Sadly, all these, I'm surprised Joshua didn't try to fight this mimics. If that is a Vicious Vengeance, those friends are going home. He might as well at least have tried to kill it, tried to score the point, try to confront, I think. So I find that to be a little strange. He may not have wanted Bugle to Napcakes him. He may want to keep the friends he has. So he's just like, you know what, I'm just going to let these get shoved home, let you keep the Napcakes, and you can still do the Napcakes at any time, but I don't want it to happen right now. I don't want that friend that gets Napcakes to be flipped away. I want to hold on to these while I can.
I could see that. So, a random strike. Let's see what he gets. Wow,
Another F-stop. That is 2 F-stops in the grave. Very scary situation for Bugle.
Definitely, and I think Buell has a situational awareness to know that,
That there is that destiny drain.
yeah, yes, that the destiny drain is looming over his head, but also that, he has an F-stop in hand. Oh, wait, no, maybe he does. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was one.
Ding. Special.
We're seeing Beam Can on that study session.
This is probably Bugle's big play. If he has a big play to play, he's going to play it now.
Seeing 2 AT come out for Rainbow Shine that could have been used on this Beam Cannon. Okay, he's using it on something else, so it's about the same.
Yeah.
To enter Makeover for free, we're going to see F-Stop come out of the hand. He's got one on the board. If
Party of 1, and he gets to keep everything.
Did he have the AT to do that?
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a lot of AT. He had turns.
Okay,
worth.
I guess those were stacks that I wasn't able to see. I was looking at those as individual tokens. All right, so we're seeing that party of 1, getting that board wipe. Rough position for Joshua.
I think I know why Bugle. Well, at this point, I probably would have actually kept the singing barrel on the board at least for a little bit, just so it's safe.
That's fair, just to make sure he has it.
Yeah, I don't know why he pulled it back right away.
He knew that Joshua was not going to be able to get rid of it. The only resource distraction Joshua has are those Mares. To play those Mares, Joshua has to play an event. To play an event, Joshua would have had to pay 6, and that was 6 AT. He did not. 6 minimum, even if it was a free event. 6 minimum.
He still has trading traditions.
That is true. So Joshua not locked out of his color, but no friends on the board with a study session out. Still not a good position to be in by any means.
So Bugle at this point, he wants to do the board state that he had last time.
Wants to get into that barrel that we know he has. Try to pull that last F-stop. If that last F-stop can hit the board and he can either protect it or use it to cleaning up into those other F-stops, he doesn't have to be very afraid of Destiny Drain anymore. If at least 2 are on the board and he gets drained, he only loses 1, big deal. If only 1 is on the board, still a little scary. But as long as 1 comes out, he's not doomed even if they get drained.
Alright.
So yeah, that Vicious Vengeance having flipped last turn, getting rid of one of those mimics, opening up a little breathing room for Joshua. One mimic's on the board. We know that 1 is floating around still. We're seeing Zakora knocked off. Not the most useful card in this fight.
Yeah, not critical. Ursa Vanquisher, and he's passing. Okay,
Probably
so
going
he
to try
wants
to set up to get rid of this Parasprite.
Yep.
That thing's been bothering him for too long.
Yep. He's just like, no more. That's okay.
I need a tuba. Here's my tuba.
All right.
Very, very fast game we're seeing here. Both players blazing to an absolutely astonishing 0 points on this turn, like 15 or something.
All right, there's another troublemaker. Okay.
Probably another Vicious Vengeance. He's got 2
Vicious,
copies.
yeah. He wants
may
to
well
get
be a
rid
second
of
one.
He wants to get
Get rid of
the
these mimics.
Yeah, they're really.
He doesn't care
nasty.
if he's giving Bugle points at this point.
I almost like for the briefest of seconds, like I thought he was like utterly drained on my card. Why? Why anything?
Why anything? Why anything, indeed.
Yo, you got a D8. See that this man's prepared.
He knows. Okay, so there's Bugle's other study session. He has only 2 copies. That's his second one.
Yeah, get that extra AT. Ooh,
We're
maybe
challenging.
not. Maybe not. Whoop. Yeah.
That is a that is
a
a
whip.
win
All right.
for Joshua on that problem face off, or on that troublemaker face off.
I mean, he knows that the yellow pair of sprite's going away still, and that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
I guess he might.
So
be
in that case, yeah, he's probably just saving his Rainbow Shine there in case that's a villain. That said, he does know what Joshua's got in his deck. He knows that there aren't any actual villains. There's only that epic Chrysalis. Probably just well, I might as well score if I can. If not, same result. A dimpotent action.
And that extra AT, because Ursa Vanquisher has a very old ability.
It is studious, doesn't it?
Yep.
That is not something I would ever thought I would see be relevant.
I always see. I use that to farm.
Do you?
Yeah, in the middle
Okay,
of
that's
things.
funny.
Yeah, I'm just like, That was actually, that was my farm tool in like mid fighting. When I ran purple.
Alright, both
at
those
times.
popping, both those mimics off the board. Joshua got a lot of breathing room now. If he is able to find that Destiny Drain,
He could still put up a fight.
that trading tradition's still protected by that both trading traditions protected by Chrysali. I think that's the technical term. Joshua really wanting to find this Destiny Drain right now. If that Destiny Drain comes out on those F-stops, he's got a Yu-Gi-Oh play right here. He's got Yu-Gi-Oh hands. All right, seen a Rainbow Shine come out.
Okay, he has an Ursa in his hand. Nap cakes. It's pretty good.
If he had the AT, I would honestly be spam drawing
Yeah.
for that Destiny Drain. I think that is
Just so big.
just yeah. If you hit that F-stop, I think it's over.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Draw. No discards finally.
Yep. Yeah, he got beat down. That's what he wanted.
Yep, that's going to be real helpful for him. Joshua's study session gone at this point. Breakdown. Oh, snips and snails.
On Josh's problem. That's a
On
little
Josh's
dangerous.
problem, a little dangerous, but it does
Same time, he
lock
might
him
want
out of
to
his
throw
purple
already.
if Bugle can deal with this Rainbow Shine.
Okay.
We're seeing Family Feud come out. Joshua may call a card. If that card is in Bugle's hand, he discards all copies of it. Barrel and F-stop, both not bad calls. If all 3 F-stops end up in the grave, I don't think Bugle has a way to get him back other than his cleaning up.
Yep, but he can play it, and I guess that would be the thing that discourages it. I don't
Hmm.
know. I'm curious what.
Barrel would not be a bad option to call. I think those frequently end up in hand. Or is that no? That's an utterly drained on his DJ there. I think he knows that Bugle has Barrel in hand. Yeah.
Does he have hit?
I'm pretty sure he has Barrel in hand.
Yeah.
Got it, unfortunately. I just did a second one too.
Yep.
Oh, 2 breakdowns. Okay, I was wrong. Rainbow Shine out. Magicite out as well.
Crazy strong choice.
Getting rid of Bugle's 2 copies of Breakdown. Part of the reason that I think 3 might have been a better option. Bugle will not be able to play those anytime soon unless he gets that last F-stop or cleaning up and is able to bring those back. In order to enter that F-stop and that cleaning up, 1 makeover's gone, he needs a Singing Barrel. Bugle starting to run out of resources.
That is extremely unfortunate on Bugle's end.
Starting to run out of resources. Joshua brilliantly playing his way out of the situation he's been in so far. Replacing Even just having that problem in that problem deck, a problem he cannot control or cannot confront easily, just to attack the hand in critical moments like that. Playing both of those Chrysalises to get rid of those mimics.
The problem is just a really smart choice.
Really strong.
Oh no, I could move all of these up there and start confronting problems. You're in the mood, yeah.
Bugle joking about confronting. Clearly never the right play in this game. You never want to score points. You never want to confront. You just want to shut down the opponent. That's how you really win.
That's how I really win.
Seeing Pinky's Epiphany finally come out.
Mm-hmm.
Dismissing Rainbow Shine. We're going to get back.
Beat breakdown.
Breakdown.
There we go. I got it right there.
You got one.
No, it's looking like a pretty good state for Joshua. He was
Yeah,
able to really
Joshua.
pull this out. He got really lucky with the fact that Bugle drew his second breakdown.
Drawing. Not sure what that card was.
What an archaic thing to do.
Another Rainbow Shine coming out already. Exhausted, even though... Oh, okay, there's a study session out again. I forgot. Or didn't notice, rather.
Mm-hmm.
So that Rainbow Shine coming out exhausted. Bugle knowing that he can safely do that, because if Joshua's breakdown does come out, it will be exhausted as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That Rainbow Shine being of questionable helpfulness, though. If Bugle exhausted on his turn, it can die to breakdown. If he exhausts it at the beginning of Joshua's turn, it can die to breakdown. The only opportunity he has to use that ability without it dying is after the beginning of Joshua's score phase, but before the beginning of Bugle's turn. Very limited time to use that. Not the most useful time to use events. Maybe use that for nap cakes to prevent some confronts, but otherwise, not quite as versatile as it would normally be. Not safely, at least.
I think Bugle has a... This passes a turn. Okay. I think
Passing?
he also played the Rainbow Shine just in case his opponent attempted to... as soon as his opponent attempts to maybe farm that Vengeance, he's going to be able to draw a card.
That is true.
It's nice. He also has an Nap Cakes in hand.
There is an Nap Cakes in hand. All right, so he will have an opportunity to throw that out. Probably on that breakdown.
Yep. Let's see here. Joshua has a lot of options.
Doing a little bit of
I think Bugle has a lot more AT banked, and that's
pretty helpful here, I think.
That's something it's good to do often.
Seem to have fixated on it a little bit. I still think those f-stops being in the grave, leaving Bugle in a very frail position, especially with those breakdowns also gone.
Yep.
It's a terrible plan, he says. I agree.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Oh, portaling the Rainbow Shine, so it re-enters exhausted. Breakdown will be able to blow that up right away.
So, yeah, Bugle's like,
Nap cakes on the... Oh, it's funny. Nap cakes on that breakdown, returns that to the top of the deck. So we will not be able to use that right away to destroy that Rainbow Shine.
Yep. All right. Let's see what's being cooked here. I can't. Bugle again. He keeps his hands close.
Very, very tight hand. Keeps his problems close and his friends in hand
We're looking
closer.
at the discard pile, so
Trying to see what's gone. 2 f-stops. Breakdowns, nap cakes. 2 mimics. A lot of his strong tools for this fight are not here. 1 study session gone, only 1 on the board. Joshua does have a little bit of trouble getting rid of those resources, but he definitely can do it.
I'm wondering if Bugle would like to see his snips and snails or not, just to maybe... I don't know how dire his situation is in his mind, but if it was extremely dire, I would maybe consider using the snips and snails to go for the blackmail.
Just replace his own problem, get Joshua off of those.
Yeah.
Maybe open himself up to a little bit of destruction. If that Ursa goes down, he'd be a little vulnerable to his purple disappearing. but blackmail coming out would be very helpful.
Yep.
You could start to tear apart that, tear ahead that way. Since we got a little bit of thinking here, this is the second round of the finals of the 2017 North American Continental Championships, hosted by Pack Breakers. The stream has been brought to you by the Commentary is Magic crew, of which Bugle is currently playing on stream. Hosting for you today, my name is Furry Flurry.
My name is Critical Thought.
And since this might be our last opportunity once again, we got a donate button down below the Twitch stream there on Twitch. Fluttershy saying every little bit helps. Very true. Because of donations like yours, we were able to record a lot more than just this stream today. There were a few other cameras running, keeping track of the other semifinals match that was going on that was not on stream. One of the other matches directly before that, there were 2 other cameras running that were not on stream. And that was possible thanks to donations. So any little bit helps. Let's see, we're seeing him thinking here still. Paper Toy coming out. Gonna start trying to gain a little bit of that AT advantage, get that meticulous. That meticulous may help us get into that Destiny Drain a little quicker.
Alrighty here.
Breakdown in hand on Joshua's side. Redrew into that one that was Napcake's last turn. Napcake's on hand for him as well. So he can do to Bugle what Bugle did to him if the opportunity arises.
Yep.
And he can do that for free with those double rainbow shines. That said, Joshua not super vulnerable to destruction right now, with both of his breakdowns being in the grave. Unfortunate loss on his part earlier.
Yep. Bugle just kind of rotating his representation of AT in his fingers.
He seems doing a lot of little fidgety things that I haven't seen him do in other games. I think he might be nervous that this game is not going in his favor at the moment. Doesn't have a whole lot on the board. Not confronting, hasn't been scoring. You're going to see that Napcakes come out on that rainbow shine.
Yep, we're seeing quite a different boards, quite a different game this time. It's not just Joshua just getting kind of locked out really hard and finding a blackmail.
Bugle dropping that rainbow shine again right away before the breakdown comes out. I probably would have thrown that breakdown out myself first and then gone for that Napcakes move just to guarantee that Bugle would not be able to replay that rainbow shine.
It's true. Bugle did get gyro. That is actually a really nice draw.
That's pretty helpful for him at the moment.
I'm not sure what he may be waiting for. Again, he probably just wants the F stop. So
I would think so.
he doesn't want to get Destiny drained, and his time to recover is
Dwindling.
I don't know how much AT Joshua has, unless he can point out where his AT is, but
Yeah, I'm not seeing
yeah, I don't know
his
where
numbers at the moment. I think he keeps it written off to the side.
right off the side. That's the little.
I think where at Joshua I would or where at Bugle I would have held on to that Napcakes to get rid of a breakdown if one were to come out, so that I can safely play my F-stop when I do. Because if that F-stop goes down when he gets it, he is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I agree. Yeesh. It's just not looking good for Bugle.
Yeah, real rough position here. Not over, not doomed. There are options out of his position, but it kind of depends on what comes out. There's that breakdown. Kind of needed that Napcakes to get rid of that. Now, if that F-stop comes out, he can't play it safely without risk of it dying immediately now that breakdown is on the board first. I think Bugle might be realizing that now.
Yep. Yep. What?
Oh, thought that was a hand.
Yeah,
I thought that was a
that
resignation handshake.
Yeah.
I don't think he's quite ready to call it yet, but I think he's. I think he might be getting close there, trying to see what all's gone, seeing what epiphanies are left, what destruction options are available.
Yep.
Joshua not having done it yet, does have Pinky the Party Planner in his deck as a destruction option for that Ursa Vanquisher, if he wants to get rid of that.
That's the reason why we think he had a Singing Barrel. He did not. He used Makeover.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I recalled that, but I thought I saw Barrel before that as well. But yeah, no, that Makeover in the grave as well. Let's see, draw on Bugle's side.
I don't know. Bugle still has a lot of AT. Maybe he's let's see here.
I got a couple more here for anyone just tuning in. This is round 2 of finals.
That's really rough.
Bugle versus Joshua Stwick. Bugle having taken round 1 pretty definitively. This game looking like it may go to Joshua. Bugle in a pretty desperate situation. 2 of his F-stops, very important card to him, in the grave. One of his makeovers, some of his entry into white and purple. Study sessions on both sides, but Joshua has the momentum. Anytime anything enters on Bugle's side, Joshua can destroy it with that breakdown. And Bugle's 2 copies of breakdown in the grave due to that family feud problem having flipped. Breakdown being called, both getting sniped out of his hand that way.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate on Bugle's end. It definitely made this game a whole lot harder for him. I'm not sure how he can recover, but maybe he sees an option I don't.
If he does still have that cleaning up, he might still have a way out of this. If he gets enough AT, he can cleaning up
F-stop.
into Party of 1 as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then safely play the F-stop thereafter.
All right, that's no more purple for Bugle, for now.
Was it Party Planner that destroyed the?
Not part Food Fight.
Food Fight into the Ursa destroys his purple. Pinky's Epiphany into that Rainbow Shine. 2 study sessions in case one of them does go down.
Yeah.
Pinky's Epiphany reducing the cost of that study session to be free.
Yep, it is. I think it's this card. So.
Pretty sure it's this card. Paper Twi coming out. More meticulous, more AT gen for Joshua. Bugle still has purple, sort of, because of his trading traditions over there.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
Not quite locked out, but no friends.
Hey, that's I think that's exactly what he was looking for. Singing Barrel.
Is that the Singing Barrel?
In which case, I think he can board wipe this. He's like, okay, how many tools do I got? What can I do?
I think that's the play on his end. I think he needs Singing Barrel. I think he needs cleaning up. And I think he needs that last F-stop in hand. Singing Barrel into his white. Use that cleaning up to get back that Party of 1. Use that Party of 1 to board wipe. Drop the F-stop. Even if it's exhausted, that's fine. Use that cleaning up to get back that Party of 1. The friend that is kept on the board being that F-stop. Joshua may not be able to destroy it right away, but if he does, Bugle is really in trouble. At the very least, Joshua would not be able to belly flop it because he would not have any friends at that moment. He would have one opportunity to use that belly flop, and that would be right before the Party of 1 came out.
And if Bugle gets F-stop, it just opens the floodgates, really.
He can slowly start to recover, get that cleaning up back to get his other cards back. TJ exhaust for draw.
Mirror. That is another thing that Joshua wants to see.
Getting that Mayor in hand, resource destruction to get rid of that second study session. Seeing that come out.
Bugle is probably biding his time. He's probably like, okay, you go ahead and play all of that. That's fine, because I'm going to.
The more the better if I can get this Party of 1 off.
Yep, because he's like, I haven't seen the yellow troublemaker yet. I am fine with almost everything you're doing right now, except for probably the Mayor. I think he's paying a draw. There's a yellow Parasprite. That's going to add some pressure.
Yeah.
So Bugle's probably at this point going, okay, now I might need to draw.
It'll be 1 for Barrel, 2 for F-stop, 4 for Party of 1. 7 AT is what he will need. He'll need 3 cards. If any of those go down to that yellow Parasprite, I think it'd be over. And I think he'll recognize that it's over at that point.
Right? That is exactly what he wanted to see.
Was that the?
That is the F-stop.
That's the F-stop already.
So,
He needs cleaning up and barrel as well. I think we said that he had the barrel.
Yep. Now he wants the cleaning up. If he has it, I don't know if he does or not.
I don't know that Joshua's been digging with Meticulous all that much. I don't think he realizes the damage that Destiny Drain could do right now. Or he just hasn't gotten it. He just hasn't gotten
Okay,
lucky
so
and seen
Bugle
it.
knows that now is the time he has to do.
Cracking his
do it.
knuckles. He
Yeah.
knows this is do or die.
Yep. This is what he
Sitting
has
up,
been.
everybody. It's getting real.
Yeah, this is what he has been cooking up this whole time. At this point, he's just like, okay, well, I think that's.
I got my 11 action tokens. That is enough.
And he has the gyro to get the cleaning up.
Yep. So 8 AT with the gyro. Probably 8.
Though I think Joshua may have an app cakes.
That would be problematic. If it's barrel, that's kind of okay. What we'd really be afraid of, I think, is Bugle doesn't have to play the F stop before the party of one, but if he does, that leaves Joshua with a friend.
Yep.
And either way, there will be a friend. If Bugle plays the F stop first, that F stop is vulnerable to a belly flop before the party of one. If party of one comes out first, Joshua will be left with a friend that he can use for the napcakes into the F stop as well.
So
One for that barrel.
gotta be careful, Bugle. Let's
Probably
not.
calling white.
Yeah, definitely calling white. So now we got gyro. Wonder if Joshua is suspecting this. Yep. He's like, all right, I'm gonna banish
Get
something
rid of one of these
important.
cards.
He's like, hey, your Destiny Drain was here the whole time. See ya.
It might have been. That would be a thing. Not a bad option. Party one. Party one.
There it is.
Party one. There we are, everybody.
Okay,
I think
Bugle,
Joshua just now
please
being
do
hit
not
by a...
make the mistake.
Of what? Casting one first or
Okay, what?
gyro? Playing gyro before the party of one so that he can choose gyro as the body to save, then playing
He's
F
getting
stop
the nap cake, so then he can buy the turn. Yeah.
to save playing this even smarter than we were. There's a reason that he is this far. I'm not sure that Joshua saw this coming.
Yep, Bugle has been cooking this up the whole time. Okay, so Joshua plays the nap cakes. Another gyro? Because yeah, party of one and F stop. Does he need to play the F stop right away? Yeah. Well, technically no.
No.
But however, Bugle should be careful because that is a yellow pair sprite. He's probably aware of it because he knows that there's only 2 Vengeance.
True.
All right.
He's got the 6 AT to drop the F stop and play the party of one.
Joshua's like, no, I know what's happening.
2 AT. F stop. 4 AT.
Party of one.
Party of one.
Extremely, very tactically thought of by Bugle.
It is all gone.
It is all gone. Just
that
like
is
all of
just
your stuff.
fine.
Your stuff is also all gone, sir.
So
So now,
heck of a turnaround from Bugle.
yeah, definitely. That
Can
that
use
was calculated.
Yeah.
That's why he throws the party of one in like everything.
he can use that F stop to get those cleaning ups back. He can use that cleaning up to get everything else back. Probably going to use that. What do you think he's going to go for first? He needs to keep breakdowns off the board. He's got napcakes in hand, yeah? Mm-hmm. So that is one safety net for Bugle. He's got napcakes in hand. If breakdown comes out, he can continue to safely exhaust F-stop for at least one turn.
Correct.
He also has portal, correct? Another safety net. If breakdown does come out, Bugle can portal that breakdown to re-exhaust it with his study session.
Yep. And unfortunately, Joshua is missing quite a few options.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff is gone. He is locked out of his purple now as well. He has barrel in hand, but he does have to play that to re-enter that extra color.
All right, so again, a little questionable when it comes to Bugle putting that singing barrel into his hand. I guess he thinks that it's safer in his hand than on the board, which may be fair.
I think he was trying to reduce the chances of Napcakes or Portal having gotten hit, because he can re-enter with Makeover, as long as he has F-Stop. But he needs to keep this F-Stop.
Yep. And
Destiny Drain a bit less of a threat now.
Yep.
Another yellow pair of sprites coming up. Well, coming up.
Yep.
Still no points scored.
How many singing barrels are gone?
I'm not sure how many are
if
gone.
If Joshua can't get into his purple, then I think
it might be done. I don't think that many are gone.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he has at least one in hand still. I think he's more than aware to hold on to at least one, probably two. And again, if he does have the one, Bugle doesn't have any immediate resource destruction, so that barrel is safe.
Yes. So I think that might be... Joshua is probably hoping for a barrel. And Bugle's like, let me see what you might be cooking. There's 2 Pinky's Epiphany.
2 on board.
2.
That is scary.
1 is floating around.
An interesting thing, though, Pinky's Epiphany being 4 rec cannot be played unless Joshua drops another friend. Probably that breakdown. Again, Bugle aware of everything in his opponent's deck. If that breakdown comes out, it will probably get Napcakes right away before Joshua has the opportunity to throw one of those Epiphanies.
All right.
Magicite going down, not something he needed right now, so that's totally fine.
All right. Where does Bugle go from here?
He's no longer doomed, but he's
He has a Rainbow Shine
still
in hand.
real behind.
Something he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there it is. Looking a little bit better already.
Saving 1, he'll be able to start saving the AT that he spends to get back an event each turn.
Yep.
So basically breaking even, just being able to play events out of his grave at a rate of 1 a turn. How much time do they have left? That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure if a judge is listening and we could get an answer to that. That'd be interesting. This has not been quite as slow as Bugle's game against Richard Owens, though. That was a pretty grindy game. That one very much approached time. I don't think we're quite there yet. First game, kind of slow, but it ended early in the game. This game dragging on a little bit. I'd guess probably around 45 minutes.
This is one of the issues that I actually noticed when it comes to the whole I'm going to run a ton of these big destroy big thing kind of
Food fight and such?
yeah, food fight and stuff. Like all of it breezes over F-Stop and a lot of Paper Twy and all that other stuff, and that's why like I mean Party Bomb's probably not worth it anymore, but it did give you a decent option against those things.
True.
And now it's just Pinky's Epiphany for Joshua, I believe.
Yeah.
Pinky's
But again, he
Epiphany
doesn't have the...
breakdown.
Joshua does not... Did he play a barrel this turn?
Nope.
He does
not
not have
have
the
the
rec
purple for
to
that.
play that Paper Twy, I believe.
Yeah, that Paper Twy cannot be played.
Unless we totally missed something.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah, there we go.
Bugle noticing that as well. No purple
Yeah,
entry at the
no
moment.
purple entry. It's looking rough for Joshua, not unrecoverable, but it is.
Yeah. Bugle
is
being
slowly
set
crawling
so
up.
far behind so early that it's... If Joshua can pull it back just a little
There's
bit, he
a
might be able to
barrel,
capitalize.
So he does have a barrel, so he is okay.
Barrel in hand, yeah. He'll be able to enter that Paper Twy, possibly. Doesn't give him any extra color. Interesting.
Yeah. All right, now what Bugle is probably going to just do is just F-stop that. Like, if you want to pay 2 for that, that's fine. I'm going to F-stop it. Or not F-stop.
Napcakes.
Napcakes, yeah.
I think that is just fine.
Yeah, Bugle's already just looking at it. He's like, yeah, that's going away. Shining Armor. That's actually the purple.
Yeah, that's
That's a little bit
Be
hard.
a little harder to deal with for Bugle.
Again, it's hard to make the call on where Joshua is at when we don't see his AT.
Yeah. With that Shining Armor coming out pretty securely in his purple again, I think Bugle's only option to deal with that being belly flop, should he choose to get it back. Doesn't really have the friends to sacrifice to that belly flop right now.
Gonna
Napcake's the paper twine, not the worst call.
Because he plays 0 for his 2.
Mm.
And then he's probably going to pull the... Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. 3. Portal.
Portal, not something he wanted to lose. Not tragic, but not helpful.
Bugle has plenty of AT. Yeah, so he's gonna play a paper twice. He's gonna exhaust it. He now has the board state to gain the AT advantage that he needs. He's getting back that the board state that he had at the start of the first game. It's
slowly creeping towards that. Still
yeah.
only one F-stop on the board. The other one's pretty vulnerable still. Drain no longer game ending for Bugle if that happens, because one F-stop is on the board.
All right,
I think I would get back cleaning up.
Napcakes.
Napcakes, interesting.
Okay.
Leaving himself a little vulnerable.
Yeah, well, he's going to be able to play that immediately once it's
if a
his
breakdown
turn
comes
before the whatever.
True.
Yeah. And as for the
unless it gets
Joshua is able to play his
true.
purple with a little bit of luxury. That is something I think Bugle was willing to take.
Fair enough. And this does allow Bugle to slowly kind of drop friends with that yellow pair sprite, attack that. Once that's gone, he can then start to turn this into his own game. Putting a yellow pair of sprites under that Vicious Vengeance.
Interesting. Oh, well, Joshua does have that dilemma.
That is true. It is still in hand.
I'm curious about that play. I don't know why he would have to have done it right then and there.
Yeah, that's a little odd. Joshua having 3 yellow pair sprites and 2 Vicious Vengeances in his deck. So kind of odd to put that under that epic unless he plans to replace it. Seeing a paper twi go down, not something he wanted to see. Again, not the most tragic, but that is the kind of card that would have helped him get ahead and stay ahead.
Yep. All right, so he's like, all right, now it's time to just kill this here.
We're getting that food
Shiner.
fight. We use that food fight to get rid of that Shining Armor. Bugle, I think, recognizing that aside from the 3 Pinkies Epiphanies, Joshua does not have recursion. If he can destroy Joshua's deck, Bugle can win with 1 F-stop. He can recover from any situation with the 1 F-stop if his whole grave is intact.
Yep.
So if he can keep this up, if he can put every card of Joshua's in the grave, Singing Barrel won't matter. It won't matter if Joshua can get purple if he has nothing purple to play. 9 cards in deck or 9 cards in hand? It was 9 cards in deck. So things are getting scary.
Yep, Bugle is crawling ahead. And again, it's just a matter of... What's going on?
Final Sight saying, I just realized they're still only gaining 2 action tokens a turn.
Yep, that's actually the state that Bugle wants, because Joshua will only get so much. If Bugle gets more RT than Joshua and he has an F-stop, that is an incredibly powerful state to be in.
If, as is, Bugle is currently gaining 150% of the action tokens that Joshua is. If you consider the AT save by Rainbow Shine, Bugle is getting 200% of the action tokens that Joshua is. If they were gaining 5 a turn, it would be Bugle's quote-unquote 7 AT to Joshua's 5. Only about a 28% advantage, 30% advantage. Still good, still fantastic. But as is, he is doing about double the work that Joshua is able to per turn right now. So 2 AT each is exactly what he would want right now. I don't believe he is. I don't believe he's confronted with Shining. I don't see that point on his scorecard, and I think there's a 10 on the. Oh no, that is Family Feud.
Yep.
Family Feud is an orange problem that Joshua cannot confront without Barrel.
Actually exhaust before I gave you a try not to cheat.
See, at least Bugle tries the rest of combo crew.
He tries to cheat,
He tries to not
but
cheat.
is he tries to not cheat.
Yeah, because
yeah,
he's like-
that's what I was saying. He tries to not cheat. Things starting to look a little scary for Joshua. Again, that yellow Parasprite giving Bugle some problems, but again, if every other card were in the grave, if Bugle has that F-stop out, he can F-stop into Makeover. He can use that Makeover to enter other color. He can use that Makeover to get enough white to play Cleaning Up. He can use that Cleaning Up to get any card back. A grindy strat, but one that would work. This
Also, you could
game
just
may literally
pop
come
Singing
down.
Barrel in your hand and then play it.
Very true, too. Oh, yeah, he's got a Singing Barrel on the board. This game may literally come down to one of them being completely out of cards and the other scoring a single point. At which point the other player literally has no options. I think we'd call that a game.
Yep.
That'd do it.
No problem, Apple Beam.
Hi, apples. We're gonna get cracking the case. We're gonna get you rid of that yellow Parasprite, so the view can start to get ahead. There's no threat of a single face-off happening. We're gonna get the barrel back. We're gonna recast that barrel to get the wreck for that cracking the case. Get rid of that yellow Parasprite so that Bugle can start to keep the cards that he pulls.
And the mystery of how do two control decks control is usually just who has photo finish. Bugle does.
Bugle does. Joshua could snip. He could
He could
just
kill it.
clowning around into a blackmail if it came down to one of those grindy, fight your way to the death with no cards type games.
Yeah, though Bugle has study sessions, so that's going to be a little difficult.
That is gonna be a little tough.
I'm not sure how many more resource removal. Well, he has the Mares.
I think there is one Mare in Joshua's hand still. One has gone down already. He does have at least one Epiphany left, I believe. He could use that to get the Mare back if he really needed to. I don't think study session is the biggest problem at the moment. I don't think it would be a terrible move on Bugle's part to get that Cleaning Up back and use that Cleaning Up to get a breakdown. If he had a breakdown on the board, it's kind of game.
Yes. Also, he has to keep in mind that Joshua is able to get Pinky's Epiphany,
True.
and that would cause a whole lot of problems. So I think at this point, Bugle just wants to grab Cleaning Up and then just that's it.
Yeah. Very true.
Almost certainly, anyways. I think that's just.
We're gonna
the
draw.
plan
We're
there.
actually gonna keep that card this time. Well, maybe you won't keep it. On the bottom, on the top, in the hand. Looking through his deck. Can I safely keep this? Do I have any reason not to put this in my hand right now? Bugle knows there is a yellow Parasprite underneath that Chrysalis. That Chrysalis probably not going anywhere anytime soon. Bugle's not going to snips and snails it. He doesn't want to see that yellow Parasprites. And that card is unable to flip unless Joshua replaces that problem, probably with just clowning around. Or somebody actually kills that Chrysalis, which, looking at the game state and the way they're pushing back and forth and killing each other, killing each other's friends, probably not going to happen.
So, do we know if Bugle still has a photo finish in that pile?
There is still a photo finish in that deck, I'm almost certain.
Yes.
We saw one go down to that yellow Parasprites real early. He does have 2 copies.
All right, Bugle. So,
Getting that AT.
again, I just really want to see him grab that Clean Up, and I think that's already that's it.
Gets
like,
cleaning
yeah,
up
you
into
can-
what? Breakdown?
Just cleaning up.
Just at all?
Yeah, just keep cleaning up, so then you can bring back the F-stop as soon as it's destroyed by the Pinky's Epiphany.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Nap cakes. Okay.
He can, again, Pinky's Epiphany being a 4 wreck card, cannot be thrown unless Joshua puts down maybe one of those breakdowns to enter further pink. So the instant that card comes out, Bugle can nap cakes that entry.
And there's a beat right there. How much? Again, we don't know how much AT Joshua has, so I would have probably figured maybe that was what Bugle was thinking because, again, All right.
See us exhaust a draw. I believe Joshua may have only 5 or 6 cards left in deck. I think it is. I think it is 5. I've counted 6, but I feel like I've missed one.
He has
7
AT.
AT. So we just have to keep that number in mind for the rest of the game.
I really would have grabbed the cleanup.
Yeah, that's very true, because he's in a scary position at this point. Joshua can drop that breakdown, have it... Actually, no, he cannot have it Napcakes, redraw it, replay it, and then play the Epiphany in the same turn.
Yeah,
5 cards in deck.
He just doesn't have it right now. He might want to pay the AT to draw.
Doesn't have the Epiphany?
Okay.
Just discards?
It didn't happen. Okay, well now... once again, I really would like Bugle to pick up that cleaning up, and then
I think that would be very, very safe for him to do.
That would be the to me. I'm
convinced that would seal the
I'm
deal.
pretty convinced that would seal the deal.
I think so. This game having looked very grim for Bugle early on. Both breakdowns sniped by that family feud that's still sitting there. 2 of those F-stops having gotten knocked out of his hand by a yellow Parasprite. We're going to F-stop into... We'll see what he gets back. Looks like he's looking at belly flop.
Bugle get the what? I don't understand.
What did he grab?
He grabbed food fight.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure why. I'm gonna be real sad if
All 3 Epiphanies might be gone. We might be miscounting.
yeah, if they are all gone, then that's pretty.
I do think cleaning up is definitely the choice, though. Still, just in case there's something we're missing.
Yeah.
If he has it cleaning up, even if he gets locked out of his white, even if that F-stop goes down, he
See,
can
there
barrel...
it is. There's the Pinky's Epiphany, so now we gotta see what's gonna happen here. Well, actually... I don't know what other cards Bugle has in his hand, because...
I don't think Bugle has the tools to stop... If Breakdown is played, he can Napcakes it. Joshua can draw it, replay it. He will have the AT and the Wreck at that point to play that Epiphany. He can use that Epiphany to get rid of that F-stop.
Yeah.
Do we see the cleaning up in the grave? Oh, yes we do.
Is Bugle figuring that he has what he needs even without the F-stop?
That's possible. Seeing Breakdown come out.
What if he Napcakes his F-stop?
That would be funny. There it is.
Missing that, you only have 1, and I have 1. Then I will.
Probably gonna get one of those shining armors back.
Well, wait, no. Bugle doesn't have the what. We're done. Bugle doesn't have the white to play that immediately.
The what now? The cleaning up?
Yeah.
He wouldn't need to. Just are you saying if it got drained?
Yeah. Well,
If-
no. I thought the whole point.
Yeah, but
The point was just to get it back on the board, I think. If that last Epiphany was gone and
yeah, I thought you were gonna do it. The turn before. That's why.
if Bugle was able to get a F-stop back into his hand, just re-put it on the board right away, there was no way Joshua was going to be able to get rid of 2 of them.
I didn't need Napcakes the F-stop.
Because then it'd be on top of his deck, it'd still get drained.
Oh, yeah. So he should have... Well, he wouldn't have been able to play cleaning up, right?
Not at immediate speed.
Yeah, so...
He
okay,
needed to
never
do
mind.
that on his turn, get the F-stop back, play the F-stop to have
We need
2
to
on the
play-
board.
We needed to play the other... He needed to play the second F-stop. That's what he really should have done.
He could have Napcakes to that.
Yeah.
If he had Napcakes that breakthrough just now, Joshua wouldn't have had the AT to drain them, but they still all would have been in the grave.
So,
I don't think
Bugle can still Napcakes that breakdown and play a photo finish.
True. If they're able to confront back and forth, Bugle may... If Bugle's able to get ahead, he may be able to stay ahead. I don't think there's very much destruction left on either side.
Joshua has a lot in his hand,
Does he?
if I recall.
I think a lot of those may be
Joshua
belly
has
flops,
all
which
the
set him
tools.
back equally. Food fight, which doesn't target much. And I think the epiphanies are gone.
Yeah, I don't agree with the food fight.
No, there was I don't think that
There was
accomplished
almost
anything.
no reason for that. So, if Bugle plays a photo finish, Joshua needs to be able to kill it.
Yeah.
But I think Joshua is able to kill it.
Snapcakesing that breakdown. That will definitely help him, I think.
Yeah. If Bugle can score and Joshua cannot, then Bugle wins. But
Joshua, very aware of what he needed to do that whole time, holding on to that AT, not playing that breakdown until he had the AT to follow up with the drain. Funny enough, drain not being something he needed to do anymore.
yeah,
Once all 3 F-stops were in the grave, if the cleaning up was gone, he did not have any options to get those back. But Joshua may not have been confident in his memory of what options Bugle had. So, draining it just to be safe.
I mean, yeah, I'll just put it back. Puts me at 1 action. Back to you. Sure.
Interesting thing, though, Joshua will just kind of fall further and further behind, possibly, since he is not able to confront that family feud without
Yeah.
Barrel.
I don't know how much destruction Joshua has left in his arsenal.
I think a lot of it may be belly flops, which are equally destructive for him. He cannot really afford to throw those belly flops.
Because again, he has like 11 cards in his hand or something along those lines.
If Bugle's friends make it onto the board, they stay ready. They will not continue to be exhausted, so breakdown will not become a destruction option. I think all those epiphanies are gone.
Not bad. I'm thinking of. Let's see. He has Shining Armor. He has Portal, so Portal will help him. Bugle also has Portal.
Yep. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen,
But again,
we're about an hour and 15 minutes into this game, I would guess. And we have scored a point. Somebody has scored at all. Incredible.
Cutie Pot's scared. That's cute.
Something that hasn't been seen in this game.
He has Food Fight.
Is there food fight?
Yeah, he has a Food Fight. He has I think he has plenty of destruction options.
I think it would be good for Bugle to leave that Ursa Vanquisher out, let that die to the food fight,
Yeah.
and
I guess that's
try to
what
get
Bugle,
that photo finish
I
out.
guess what Bugle is doing now is mitigating the damage.
No purple for that paper twi.
It's a matter of what he can play to, yeah.
Keep on scoring, man.
Bugle was thinking, you win, but now it's like, actually, I
Well,
can
maybe
score
not.
and you can't. That's actually backfiring now, after all my praise.
For that problem.
Then again, I would be running photo finishes, so that's probably why. Oh.
I gained 3. You do?
So.
I know exactly what I have in my deck.
Very aware.
Yep.
Nothing alarming
So let's see here.
That might just be because I'm an idiot. Whatever, I'll be an idiot. That's how I got here.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, come on, man. A lot of your choices have been pretty good. He draws for Singing Barrel. Yeah. Oh, Joshua's like, I don't.
Which of these 2 cards do I want to draw?
I'm gonna get an action. Okay.
Do I put it on the bottom of my deck, or do I put it
I'm gonna do the thing that I
on the bottom of my deck
the thing that makes me win.
in a second?
Oh yeah. Minuet.
Ooh. That could be pretty decisive.
It's not guaranteed, but
Not at 100% yet. You do not have purple for that. Say one more.
Buglesville is
Going to be
Simpsons
able to
now.
use that minuet to
to banish things and then put it back.
making that breakdown pretty powerful again.
Yep.
Bugle
That
gonna need
one
to
copy.
that one copy gonna come in clutch.
it's always possible you can win before then.
Dropping all these friends while he can. Snips and snails.
It's a little
Interesting.
scary.
Trying to drop all these friends while he can. He knows that Joshua will only be able to break down one of them. Just trying to get as many bodies as he can while he can safely. If he
And
drops
many
them one at a time.
points, actually. Because he can, if Bugle can, Snips and Snails is the right choice, unfortunately. But actually, even then, at this point, the game is going to. Oh wait, Joshua can. What is it? Joshua has a shining armor in his hand.
Barrel that shining
He
armor to
can't-
confront.
He has to be able to beat. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Photo finish going
That's
down
good.
to that food fight.
Because if Bugle, Joshua cannot. What? Wait. I'm not sure.
Bugle,
Yeah. Yes,
Bugle
Bugle.
calling
You
it.
did throw it away.
Bugle calling it for Joshua, recognizing everything will die before he can do anything about it.
Wait. Could Joshua score points?
That would be farmed eventually, guaranteed. That Chrysalis would have been farmed eventually, guaranteed by Joshua.
How? Because there's 0-0, and he doesn't have enough cards in his hand. So wait.
The one where I conceded immediately was 35.
So that is. Oh wait, I know why. That is orange rack, right?
Yeah.
That's is it 4 or 3? Because if it's
Cannot
4, then it makes sense. If it's 3, then Joshua still couldn't have confronted. He still couldn't have destroyed the thing. Even if he got rid of everything, the game would have been. No.
Family Feud has 3 orange to
Okay,
confront.
no, he had it. Okay.
So yeah,
Never
it was
mind.
confrontable
Okay.
with that DJ.
Okay. Never mind, he did win, unfortunately, because Bugle could have won. But he didn't get back.
So he does have this second chance to try to pull it out.
Yeah.
So Singing Barrel only able to hit the main. If there was a 4 orange on that problem, he would not have been able to confront it, period. But because it is only a 3 on the orange on that problem, Singing Barrel would give DJ enough power to confront that problem. Eventually, with that minuet, being able to bounce all of Bugle's friends in and out of the board every turn. Though that breakdown would eventually destroy them all. Bugle might get to 6 or 7 points and make it a fight, but would eventually end up with no cards left before being able to pull it through.
Yeah.
So we're going down to one final game. 2 points scored during that game.
Bugle. And then you get cleaning up and play the other F-stop, Bugle. Did he not have... He had the AT to do it.
He had the AT to do it for one turn.
And then he got Portal instead. Why did you get Portal?
You got food fight.
Yeah, why did you get Food Fight?
That
more
one I'm
upset.
confused on.
That one I'm
He
more
may
upset.
not have realized that that Epiphany was still a thing that was out. So we're gonna see what happens during this last game here. Joshua getting a chance. That is why you fight them out. That's why you always fight them out. There's always the opportunity for a misplay.
Joshua did have hope.
Yeah.
Richard did not.
That's two after a point. Yeah.
Yes.
At first, it was like, there are options, but no, in this one, definitely. And playing it through paid off, even though he forfeited that first game after a point. Bugle doing the same thing after they realize the game is over. There are no cards in decks. There are only cards in hands. You have a state that will destroy mine in a few turns. You win.
Bugle not gonna.
Bugle draw.
You're gonna hear this recording. I don't. Why?
Joshua dropping 2 troublemakers. Turn 1, likely both yellow Parasprites.
It's not good.
Wants to attack Bugle as hard as possible, as early as possible. Bugle drawing up. Drawing up a lot. Excited about something he drew. 2 AT left. Exhausted draw. Puts him at 9 cards in hand.
Pays the thing, study session?
Pays 2.
Oh, paper twice.
Paper twi.
That's also really
Gets
good.
an AT back. Uses that AT to drop what is almost certainly a Changeling Mimics. Doing it at his own problem to keep that problem on the board, keep him in purple. Double yellow Parasprites, is it? It almost certainly is.
Your Bugle.
We're drawn. By Jove, we flipped DJ. Very illegal play. Did not shuffle his deck just now. Very, very impactful thing that matters at all.
It matters in only one situation.
Will affect the course of this game for years to come.
I mean,
hopefully this game will not last years to come.
Yeah, actually it does.
It does, but we don't know, so it doesn't matter. Watch, if Joshua loses this, we gotta message him after. Be like, Joshua, you didn't shuffle your deck.
Disqualified.
Disqualified. No, disqualified. I was gonna say the cards you needed, they were elsewhere. You needed to shuffle to get those cards. What are we losing on Bugle's side? He tossed those cards. I was not able to catch what those were.
But Joshua is officially a cheater, and Bugle has not successfully cheated like Joshua.
He has not successfully cheated yet.
All right,
paper twi,
Bugle
good
is,
position,
Bugle
even
is
though
like,
there are 2 yellow Parasprites, which does hurt.
Yeah. Bugle's like, fine, I'll just get rid of it.
You want to play that game? We'll play that game.
Okay.
Study session, AT, here you go.
Watch both those singing barrels get struck out of Bugle's hand, and he's so very sad because
That'd be real sad for him.
That'd be really rough. He wants to play one.
He needs to just set one on the board, I think.
I'd
With
almost have considered not paper twi.
Just to get to get a barrel on the board, just in case. If both those barrels go down, Bugle in a heck of a position, has only 1 makeover in deck to get white out. If those barrels go down. If they do go down, however, he can safely meticulous. He can meticulous that makeover to the bottom of the deck if he runs into it. He can guarantee he draws things that aren't that makeover, and then gyro into it when he needs it.
Bugle is at 2 points. How?
There haven't been any confronts here so far or anything.
Maybe that was last game.
Last game. Yeah, I might have taken a moment to update. So yeah, we might just have noticed that comment pretty late.
All right, so here's the part where Bugle hopes that he can maybe play a singing barrel. I think.
I think he recognizes how important I think he will probably recognize how important it is to get one. There's one.
Oh.
Oh Lord. Dice is gone.
Another one.
Gyro.
Okay.
Gyro for the makeover.
He moved
but
around
not...
his hand, I think, then, because I was
Okay.
like, wait.
Oh no.
It's like, Bugle, no!
So I think he is going to drop that singing barrel just to make sure it does not die to a yellow Parasprites. There it is.
There you go.
He does not want that card to go down.
We safe.
Safe play, dropping that Zikora.
That's exhausted. Don't be a cheater.
Don't be. He has not successfully cheated. We've said.
Yeah.
You read it slow, generic rhyme. He's saying we read things slow. This human that I don't know is saying that we read things slow. It might be a dog or a cat. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe dogs and cats like horse cards. Maybe horses like horse cards. I don't know. Not pony cards, by the way, folks. Horse cards.
Also, everyone, Robin in Super Smash Bros. 4, all of his individual tomes do different types of damage. His Levin sword also,
Relevant.
it is always coming out during C-Stick, unless it's thrown away, of course.
Trolling one of our
There
viewers,
isn't
everybody.
some kind of weird glitch that makes Levin sword not come out. That isn't a thing. People are just liars.
Oh, what do we see? We see,
What else is upsetting?
I think not
paper
having
twine.
pulled,
Okay.
we see a paper twine come out. I think not having pulled that cleaning up last game was upsetting.
Yes, that was very upsetting. I was upset. Bugle, don't lose, please, because I would be sad for you.
You don't want to see someone lose after having made a decision like that.
Yeah.
I know. I always
After
agree.
making-
If somebody is like, I played it well, I played it through, I played my way out of a very desperate position. Messing with chat a little bit.
Okay.
Got a food fight in the grave. I did not see what was sniped by those yellow pair sprites again just now. Seeing study session go down again.
Ouch.
Second study session of bugles in the grave. If this first one goes down, he is in a relatively weak position comparatively.
Okay, so Bugle.
Opting to draw,
Snips
gets
and
the snips
snails.
and snails real good. I think that's something he probably wants to drop as soon as possible.
Yes. This.
Get that at that top problem. Get rid of these pair sprites.
Okay, everyone. So I don't want to spread misinformation, though I doubt anyone's playing Smash Bros. But no, those tomes do the set amount of damage, and there is a weird thing with that Leviathan sword. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't worry about it. I don't like spreading misinformation.
I do.
I know.
I'm sorry, that was misinformation that I
Yeah.
just spread. I
Yeah.
don't like doing that.
Yeah.
Or was that misinformation? Who knows? Mind games. We got
Sometimes-
snips and snails on the board.
Yep.
Threatening that yellow pair sprites. Odd that he put it at that problem, I
I think
think.
he just wants to beat. I think
He
he just
might
wants
just
to beat
try
it.
to kill the parasprites. I thought he was going to try to replace one. He might just try to kill it.
Yeah, I think he
Score the
doesn't
point,
want his
start
opponent
scoring.
to just get blackmail and then just another.
That is very
tiny
true, yeah.
Misplay.
His opponent getting blackmail would be very dangerous.
Though-
He doesn't want to lose his own mimics or his starting problem. Might be worth, though. So he may challenge if he loses replace.
That meaningful? Not sure.
Joshua, not a whole lot on the board at the moment. He's got the parasprites. Very
Just got a
good.
beat down in hand.
True.
was okay.
Another study session in hand.
Yep. Bugle, I think you should have put one Nightmare Moon in your deck, maybe.
I think so.
I think it would have helped him a whole lot in some situations. Though, normally his opponent plays Nightmare Moons and he's fine.
That's true. That's true. Maybe. Nightmare Moon was my friend today, he said earlier.
Yeah. As opposed to his enemy, I suppose. Oh, yeah, that's right, because he's a combo player and Nightmare Moon Red's
Nightmare
combo
Moon.
is pretty hard.
Not his friend, normally.
It shakes it up a little bit.
Speaking of shakes it up, there are some new Equestria Girls shorts that are not bad. They're not awful. There are 11 shorts that I found online that just kind of
They're like a 6.
came out of nowhere.
They're like a 6.7 to me.
A 6.7. That's
Out
a
of 10.
2/3.
I know.
Don't tell me what I know. That's a D.
Yep.
That is a D grade
I know.
in the United States.
Yep. It's passable.
Passable. Still happy that that barrel is on the board there. I think that was a good play on Bugle's part. He was realizing how dangerous it was that both those might have gotten knocked out. Losing a photo finish, losing a
hurts a
Aromaspi.
bit.
Was that the second one?
He wanted to play that photo finish like
Wanted
right
that
away.
photo finish out. There's not any confronting happening, so getting that out as early as possible would have put him in a good situation.
So a very lucky strike on Joshua's end.
That said, I don't think points are the deciding factor in these games. So maybe putting the 3 to 4 AT into that photo finish, not the right choice.
Maybe, yeah.
Again, he doesn't really want to accelerate the score too much, because as is, he is gaining 50% more AT than his opponent. Well, no, that paper twice out on his side as well, and
Hey,
one of
Bugle,
those paper twice
quit
went
cheating.
down. Bugle's cheating.
Yeah,
Did he play
Bugle's
something
cheating.
unexhausted?
Yep.
Oh, he put that Ursa. There it is.
Yeah, thanks, Josh, for calling out Bugle's blatant cheating. See, we knew it.
Despicable
There we
player.
go. All the combo crew has cheated, I believe. Except for Ericat. But he's not playing, so I guess it doesn't count.
For anyone just joining, I'm not going to go through my whole spiel at the moment. This is the final round of finals. Each player having won one game. Bugle having gotten ahead early game 1, Joshua folding. Joshua having gotten ahead early game 2, Bugle playing his way out of a terrible situation into a significantly better one, making a couple questionable calls. That game fell to Joshua in the end. Bugle folded, entered a board state that Joshua was pretty much guaranteed to win out of.
I can't let you get. I can't let Bugle off the hook that easily. He misplayed and he lost because of it.
Some questionable choices. So we're looking at game 3 here. Both players in strange situations. Joshua does not have much on the board.
He lost game 2 because of it.
He's got a mimic. Bugle has a mimics out, taxing some of Joshua's more important cards. Joshua having 2 yellow parasprites on the board, attacking Bugle's hand, putting a lot of those cards in the grave, making them vulnerable to Destiny Drain that is in Joshua's deck.
Yep, unlike Bugle.
Unlike Bugle is not running copies of Destiny Drain. We're seeing a Mare come out.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Resource destruction for Joshua if he is able to use that Mare next turn to get rid of either Bugle's barrel. Bugle has to basically put his barrel back in his hand.
Yep.
Study Session is a real good target for that Mare.
That puts Bugle in a precarious situation because he can get rid of the yellow parasprite with the snips and snails, but then blackmail. Or fire when ready. That could go into blackmail.
True. He could snips and snails his own problem here.
He could also
get himself
portal
out of
his
purple.
Ursa Vanquisher if he has one.
That is true.
Which would be crazy, but it
would exhaust it though.
I don't like study sessions.
True.
No one plays resources that are impactful in this game. People play resources to get rid of the
and
breezy
Party of
flowers
One
people
go
are
down.
running.
As we were saying last game, where Party of One went down pretty early to a yellow parasprite, not a card he needs on the fly.
That special beam cannon's gone.
Special beam
That's a little
cannon.
sad.
That's something that Bugle may have needed.
Bugle
Gaining that
scores a point.
Bugle scoring a point.
Another point is scored
That is the 3rd point
by
in about
confronting
2 hours.
by confronting a problem like a degenerate.
Another one. 2 whole points scored on Bugle's side.
Like a degenerate.
Like a degenerate.
Like a degenerate.
Like an Ellen degenerate.
like regeneration.
Like Ellen regenerate.
No, that'd be okay. We worried about the Mare. However, there is that changeling mimics again.
That mimics is not something that Bugle wants to lose. He wants to keep that on the board.
How much AT again? Because we don't know how
true,
much
true.
AT Joshua has. It could be bad or it could be fine.
Moving that Snips and Snails
He is
over.
taking the scary play.
Going to risk it, hopefully, for Bugle. That is not a bad call. A blackmail does not come out for Joshua. We're seeing Family Feud again.
All right, and then he names Beatdown, and Bugle has his whole hand is beatdowns. This time, he cheated.
This Family Feud being a very impactful problem that came out last time. Unconfrontable for Joshua for a long time. Very hard to confront at the very least. However, this hand snipe ability that it has, Joshua being able to call DJ Breakdown to knock both copies out of Bugle's hand.
So
Nap
he called
cakes.
nap cakes, and he was right.
Loses napcakes.
Yep.
Been 2 for 2 on these Family Feuds so far.
And Bugle confronts a problem, and then everything goes away, and that.
Well, we're at 2 points.
Yep.
Oh, I put it up at 3 mistakenly. That Chrysalis revealing, getting rid of that mimics, and pushing those friends home. That mimics, I imagine, having been taxing events up to this point. In order for Joshua to have the ability to destroy resources, he needs to play events with his 2 copies of his Mare. If those events are taxed, that becomes a little more difficult for him. He also needs to be able to exhaust the Mare, so if it just enters the board, Study Session exhausts it, does not allow him to exhaust it more. So Bugle buying himself some time. Did not want to have to put that Singing Barrel into his hand on the chance that it would get hit by yellow parasprites. He only has 2 copies of Singing Barrel, 1 copy of Makeover. 1 barrel is in the grave already. So that was not a card he wanted to lose. Not putting
There's
himself in a
that
bad
beatdown.
position.
Exhaust beat.
Joshua passing turn.
Bugle looking healthy right now. However, who
His
knows?
Parasprite's gone, yeah. Hard problem for Joshua to confront. A villain that, or an epic rather, that neither of them really tried to farm last game. They let it sit there pretty much the whole game. So I imagine neither one is going to really try to farm it this time. Both gaining the same amount of AT, so neither one pulling ahead too hard. Both have study sessions, slowing each other down. Bugle safely having a barrel on the board.
Bugle opting not to exhaust that paper twi, believing that the meticulous is more valuable than the AT would get.
I agree at this point. If just to keep makeover from being the card that he draws, if he sees that makeover, he can toss it. If he looks at a card and it's not makeover, he can keep it.
Paying an AT to draw?
Paying to draw, interesting.
Okay. And,
Seeing one for a troublemaker that could be anything.
Yep,
Definitely
'cause
changing mimics.
Because he knows that Joshua doesn't have a means of getting rid of mimics except
Killing them
by,
or
defeating them, which is difficult.
or
And,
putting one of these vicious vengeances onto it.
Yeah.
And one's on the board already. He only has 2 copies. Bugle up a little bit. Still anyone's game. Definitely too early to call. Bugle looking slightly advantaged here. Joshua having a breakdown, giving him a
Mental break.
Joshua
is on the
Joshua
floor.
having a mental breakdown. Terrible, just terrible
Scream
situation he's in.
Of horror.
I didn't even realize that could sound that way until I said it. Joshua just having a total breakdown. We're seeing a Pinky's Epiphany come out, I believe. We may see that Ursa Vanquisher go down. Oh, actually, it's a friend with 2 or less power, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gonna get rid of that Paper Twi. Get rid of that Meticulous. Not the worst choice. Joshua opting to get a card back, I believe. Oh, no. Reducing the cost of something. Reduce the cost of that dip in the pool down to 1. Allowing him to make a copy of a friend on the board.
Probably beat down.
Probably that. Or Paper Twi. Not the worst option either.
Yeah.
Couple people joining us. This is the last round of finals. Bugle up slightly in points. Both players having precarious board states. Neither one particularly ahead. Definitely still anyone's game. Both of them having made great plays. Both of them having made mistakes. So they've both learned a lot. They both know what they want to try to accomplish. They're both at their best right now.
Yep. Okay. Oh, we see Bugle banking.
Bugle gains his AT.
I have the Pokemon Coliseum, like the final guy theme.
Final fight theme.
Yeah. Play that at home. Make it better. Okay, yeah, he made a...
Okay.
Yeah, he did copy the paper.
Copying a Paper Twi.
See, Bugle, why didn't you tech in that one event that destroys things with 0 power?
Perfect.
0 printed power. It would have really actually helped.
Actually, that would have
Joshua.
helped. That's funny.
Another beatdown.
That's rough.
You see, this is a similar thing that Joshua did last time, and then Bugle played Party 1. I think he
Joshua
has-
overextending slightly, possibly.
Yeah. Perhaps not too much right now, but
Definitely
He-
nearing that point.
yeah, he needs to be careful.
And with Joshua having his starting problem be gone already, if that Party 1 were to come out, he would be locked out of his purple at the moment, other than if he has a Signy Barrel. We know that he's flipped 1 away.
He's gonna be draw.
Bugle exhaust to draw.
Freaking, it's been a long day.
Long day indeed.
Not in like a bad way, but in a long day way.
A long day away. It is
Also,
no, it's
Also, we can't have air conditioning on. It's been a little
that's
rough.
true. That's been a little warm. Just a little warm. Just a little warm.
It's fine.
Bugle twiddling, thinking, trying to be real real careful, real meticulous. Not as meticulous as Joshua's Meticulous 2 right now.
It's Meticulous 1 twice.
Meticulous 1 twice right now.
Yeah,
Meticulous 1 plus 1.
it's true.
Meticulous also.
All right, so once again, we have it to where
Gonna go ahead and pass.
nobody scores.
Who needs score? So we got Joshua gaining an extra 2 AT over Bugle a turn right now. Gonna be 3 to 5. That will help Joshua pull ahead and stay ahead.
It's like, okay, and perhaps next year aggro can win.
Nah.
Nah.
Joshua gaining a 66% AT advantage over Bugle at the moment. And Bugle not really able to easily recover from that because of these breakdowns on the board. If a paper toy were to come out on his side, it would likely die immediately. Napcakes in hand on Joshua's side. Powerful tool in this fight, as we've seen. He's just going to go ahead and pass. Discarding Rainbow Shine. Interesting. And Pinky the Party Planner. 1-cost card that can destroy something with 3 or more power. 2 Friends of Bugle's Home. Might have been worth it just to kill one, just to get it out of the way. That Ursa Vanquisher hasn't been doing a ton of work, but just having that power on the board is always helpful.
Definitely. Wondering, Bugle, he knows his special beam cannon is pretty deep in his deck, but he could also get gyro.
True.
And, so it's, yeah, look, first
Strange
and foremost.
situation we're here at.
Yeah. First and foremost, study session needs to go.
Chad saying that Bugle can just confront this coming turn. I honestly think that's something that he doesn't care about doing right now.
Nope.
He will pull ahead on points, but he is trying to take the board state back. As the other 2 games have proved, is not been a game of scoring because there's not really time limit. Though that said, we may be approaching that during this game.
Mm-hmm.
It has not really been a game of score. Last game, Bugle was up on points and ended up losing in the end just because of the board state. It is really a game of who can get control, keep control, destroy every option of their opponents. And I think he's going to want to hold on to that 6AT to try to turn this game around. Probably try to get a party of 1 out again.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua, that's though 15 minutes
15
left.
15 minutes?
15 minutes, 32 seconds when we saw that a moment ago. So, if that is the case, it may be in Bugle's favor to start trying to confront.
Yep. Yeah, Bugle might want to actually just... It might be that time.
Might be time to start slow playing without actually slow playing.
It might be time to confront, get a few more points.
If you're just joining us, we got a few more people. This is final round of finals of the 2017 North American Continental Championship, hosted by Pack Breakers. We've got Bugle versus Joshua Stwick. Bugle up on points just a little bit. We're rapidly approaching time, our 2.5-hour hard limit for these finals. Those first 2 games, very grindy, very slow. Bugle taking the first one, Joshua taking the second one.
Considering the time limit, Bugle is actually in a really, really nice position.
Bugle is in a good position, absolutely.
Yeah.
Up until now, these have not been games of score. Neither player has... We've scored, excluding this game, 5 points were scored in the other 2 games. And those games were ended by players conceding after they were controlled into the ground. This time, that may end up not being the case with only about 14 minutes at this point left on the clock. It may go to score. Bugle may just want to confront while he can. Try to get that lead.
Or at the very least, make it impossible for Joshua to score.
True.
As much as possible.
If he's able to keep Joshua off of those mimics.
This is one of those
do
reasons
some
I
damage.
really like those changeling thrones.
True.
Just saying. It's just ripping score out of the ether.
Bugle opting to bank and end turn.
Yep. I think Bugle just goes, well, you're probably not beating that Changeling Mimics.
Yeah. 2 to
So-
6, unlikely.
So I'm okay with you going and...
Joshua probably wanting to speed up here, opting to draw that card, whatever it was that he was staring at, thinking about it pretty heavily. Dip in the pool.
yeah?
I don't know how helpful that is at this moment. I imagine it's events that are being taxed by that mimics. That dip in the pool would likely dip in the pool would likely cost 6.
Yeah. I think what Bugle wants to see is Party of One.
Party of 1 was sniped earlier on in this game by a yellow pair of sprites.
Oh, but he does have F-stop in hand.
If there is F-stop in hand, he would be able to get that back. He does need a good bit of AT to do that, though.
He does
I
have a
think
good
that's
bit.
what he's saving for. If
Yeah.
he can pay 1 for barrel, singing barrel, pay 2 for an F-stop, pay 1 to get that event back, pay 4 for that Party of 1 to wipe Joshua's side of the board. That said, he is going to have some trouble safely getting that F-stop out. He may also be searching for cleaning up to just get that Party of 1 and forego the F-stop. F-stop would enter the board exhausted because of that study session, leaving it vulnerable to breakdown and unable to use its ability for a turn. So we're looking at a real tight game here. Bugle may confront. He may just be searching for things like Portal, like Napcakes. So if Joshua tries to knock over one of these troublemakers,
Joshua just choosing to discard his...
his Shining Armor, very interesting. That would have been very helpful in trying to knock over one of these troublemakers and pull these points ahead. Exhausted draw. I think Bugle, is just searching for these events to try to keep Joshua off of these troublemakers for another few turns. We're probably looking at about maybe 11 minutes left. So things are wrapping up here. Things are getting scary, and I think Bugle realizes that. He's played against the clock before. He's historically been a very combo-heavy player, a type of player that definitely has to be able to watch the clock and be aware of that.
Yep.
Nothing new to this kind of situation. No one new to this kind of situation. He's definitely been here before. Joshua, not a name I recognize. He might go by an alias that I might recognize. I think he's looking at a Destiny Drain on the top of his deck there. I don't know how impactful that will be at this moment.
Yep. Actually, he may want to consider...
Epiphany already.
he may want to consider using Destiny Drain on the Party of One, maybe?
That would not be the worst option.
Yeah. If he believes that the F-stops aren't going to be a thing, if he believes that that would probably be the one thing to push him too far back once he tries to set up, probably, might be a good option.
One thing that is also very scary again for Joshua, that top problem, Family Feud, we're seeing Just Clowning Around coming out. He's going to try to confront that, replace these other problems.
Yep.
That's problematic for Bugle.
Yep, that's a very scary play on Bugle's end. Bugle's going to have to try and block that.
So smart for Joshua, recognizing what he needs, what he needs to do to break out of this. As I was about to say, that Family Feud is very hard to confront. Joshua's problem, very hard to confront for him. Unless he plays Singing Barrel on his main and confronts with that DJ, he is not able to confront that problem. And so that is very much something
Bugle does have a TM in hand.
that Joshua wants to get rid of at the moment. Get rid of that, confront that Just Clowning Around, allows him to replace a problem, probably his own. Could open up a blackmail. It will get rid of that Changeling Mimics, and it will allow him to confront if it is not another Family Feud.
Well, he can confront Family Feud.
It just, very pricey for
It's a
him.
very difficult play.
And not with that Mimics in the way.
So what Bugle is going to want to consider is if he has a troublemaker like I thought I saw.
Probably dropping that up top. I don't know that he has anymore. I think a lot of them have been gone. That said, he's thinking this turn through, and that is helpful in both a stressful situation and a timed situation where you are winning. As the player who is behind, Joshua may be looking for an opportunity to confront quickly end his turn and be ahead at the end of his turn. Just one explosive play that
think-
puts him
I
puts him
think
ahead.
Bugle's going for party of one. Oh, cleanup.
We're looking for that cleaning up. We'll barrel into cleaning up. Use cleaning up to get that party of 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just so... Alright, so... It looks like he's trying to party a 1 here, in which case I don't know how much AT Joshua has, so...
There's not much he can do to stop it, though.
Yeah,
So,
there's nothing...
this party of 1, if it is what Bugle's trying to do, and he's done it once, I'm very certain this is what he's going for. This is going to be very impactful. Joshua's going to lose... He doesn't even have purple at the moment. He's going to lose those paper twice. He's going to lose that acceleration. These 2 breakdowns that were keeping Bugle down, that were keeping him from being able to F-stop, those are going down. Casting Barrel, calling white.
Yep.
He's got his purple, so that's the only color 2 call for his deck. We're going to pay 2 for that cleaning up. We're going to banish something from Joshua's deck. Doesn't really matter. Ursa Vanquisher. We're going to get that party of 1 back. No. We may not be getting the party of 1 back. He may just skip past it. There it is. Yeah, he just glanced over it. Pull that party of 1. Spend that 4 AT. Party of 1. Board wipe Joshua. Puts him in a pretty negative position. Banishing that gyro. Holding onto that Zikora as the only friend.
And does Bugle have 2 AT?
I'm not sure how much AT is.
Oh,
sitting
he
at.
has a food fight? Yeah, there's 2. Okay, he's...
2 AT to drop an F-stop while he has the rec to do so. And those breakdowns are gone. Pay 2 for a breakdown as well.
Oh, I keep forgetting the study session. There's so many little things I'm missing right now. I'm just so wiped out.
Since Bugle's got that study session, if Joshua attempts to play any friends, they enter exhausted. Bugle having that breakdown out right now will be able to destroy those exhausted friends immediately after they come out on the following turn. Bugle not confronting, but he's got the 2 points. With time rapidly approaching, that may be all he needs. This may be it.
Yep. It's definitely looking like it's in Bugle's favor. Also,
Probably only got about maybe 5 minutes left. Haven't been watching exactly.
I think it's around 10-ish.
We only
Maybe
had
9.
15 minutes. I think we're a lot further in than that.
Okay.
I think we've only got a few minutes here. Joshua's really going to need to pull something out.
He needs to probably...
He cannot get rid of that study session. His only option to do so, Mayor, a friend that needs to exhaust. 6 minutes left.
Okay.
6 minutes left, ladies and
I'll
gentlemen.
keep a thing on the time. Oh, okay, so it's... Well...
So this round will end at
8:30.
6:35 on our end, 8:35 for them.
Location.
8:35 on their end. Joshua, again, pretty dire situation here. With that study session out, not able to play friends safely because of that breakdown on Bugle's side. Without those friends, not able to confront. Without confronting, he has no options other than blackmail in his deck to score points.
Yep. He's definitely not in a good position.
The only way to get that blackmail out being Snips and Snails, which would enter play exhausted, die to breakdown.
Yep.
I'm glad it didn't actually.
Back to you.
Joshua opting to pass turn.
Okay.
Bugle's friends unexhausted. Gets that F-stop back. He gets that breakdown back. He has food fight in hand, correct? So he's got
Yes.
multiple destruction options. Bugle could very well just pass turn if he has destruction in hand. We're opting to
Is there a
possibly pay
reason to
3
pay
for something.
T?
Maybe just to confront to guarantee it if he
Is
thinks he
it
can.
A paper twi.
Playing a paper twi. Spending the AT on something. We're going to pay to
Yeah,
draw.
he should have done that before.
Yeah, you very typically want to use DJ's ability before drawing anything, just in case it would what you draw would affect your decision. Sometimes that draw opens up a better play, but it's too late. You dedicated the AT. We are dropping a Vicious Vengeance, I imagine, at that middle problem to push Bugle's friends off of it. Try to stop him from scoring if that were to happen.
And get rid of the mimics.
And get rid of that Mimics. There is a 9 on the back of that problem. Bugle only having 3 power there at the moment. 1 on the F-stop, 2 on that breakdown. Again, anything Joshua plays, entering play exhausted at the moment, and his only option to get rid of that study session, a friend that he needs to exhaust. Which would die to breakdown before he would have the opportunity.
And now Bugle is able to get...
Paying 1 for that F-stop.
Okay.
We're getting nap cakes back.
Oh, cleaning up.
Cleaning up back.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case. Doesn't want to make the same mistakes as last time.
Yeah.
I at this point, with so little time on the clock, I don't think there's going to be time for a cleaning up play. I think the better option would have just been a nap cakes, something just in case Joshua's got some kind of sneaky friend. Playing another paper twi. Getting these meticulous, getting this AT generation just in case. Joshua not having any strong board wipes like Bugle did. That party of one coming in very clutch both games. Passing to Joshua. Got about 3 minutes left. Things looking real grim.
Alright, so...
Vicious Vengeance coming out. Getting rid of that Mimics that does afford Joshua a little bit of breathing room. The taxation effect of that Mimics still in play at the moment. That will not go away until the end of the turn, even though those Mimics were removed. However, on his coming turns, there will be no taxes on his events.
Yep, I'm not seeing Oh no, he has a Mare.
Mare in
But
hand.
that'll be delayed.
Still
Probably
delayed by
a
that study
little
session.
Far too delayed, so he needs to... Is that his only form of resource removal?
That is his only form of resource
That's
removal.
incredibly rough.
That is
against
very rough for
study
him.
Session itself.
Seeing study session and barrel go down, past turn, trying to play quickly, in the hopes that he is afforded an opportunity to make a play to score a couple points. Even just tying it up would buy him the opportunity to win. Probably got a little over a minute left.
Yep. Let's see here.
Is it 3 power on that Zakora there? Or 2?
Zakora has 3. So now at this point, Bugle is just building his responses.
We're probably going to get that nap cakes back, I imagine. Just in case Joshua chooses to drop anything. Bugle possibly searching for a card that's already in his hand?
Never mind, I am not getting anything back. Not in my discard pile.
Okay.
Looking for a card he didn't have. Joshua being gracious enough to let him take that back. He did exhaust and pay, so he could have been able to say, I believe. Nope, too late. You already did that. Take one of those events back that you don't need. Exhausting to draw.
Joshua doesn't seem like that type of person.
He definitely doesn't.
He-
Neither one really
he
does,
also
I think.
He also didn't seem to be like, he seemed to be, if I was hearing his tone and whatever correctly, he seemed to actually be like kind of surprised that he made it as far as he has.
That's kind of true.
The play I've seen from him has been
Pretty phenomenal,
pretty exceptional.
for sure.
Bugle, that being a force to reckon with, he wants to finally win Gen Con.
He has made top 4 like every year, I think. Very close. He's made it very far every year.
He got 16th on the second year.
Okay.
Yeah, because all the combo players got knocked out first round.
Was he the 16th?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was the 16th, but I
Okay,
do know
'cause-
he
no,
was,
'cause
he
I was like,
lost in top 16.
Me getting 17th shared a hug with that 16th player, and I'm like, wait a sec, that wasn't. I didn't know him at the time, but that wasn't Bugle, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
One time, and that is game.
This game?
Alrighty, everybody, that is it. Your 2017 North American Continental Championships champion, Bugle, Luke Wyman. Everybody, very exceptionally played all day. One major misplay last game, may have cost him. Didn't in the end. Was able to pull it back this game. Set up an exceptional board state. Played himself out of a bad situation. Party of one's coming in clutch, able to board wipe his opponent. Joshua doing a phenomenal job too, but without that recursion, I think he just quite wasn't able to keep up. Fell off a little bit. I know Bugle's an exceptional player. Just looking at the decks, however, I did not expect it to go the way that it did. I thought that a little text on Bugle's side would be a little too much. I thought they would add up into him getting attritioned out. Absolutely, thank you for watching, guys. I do think those were fantastic games, so thank you guys for being here with us. That was fantastic to see. All these games today have been phenomenal. Learning a lot. There's a lot to learn from these players. Beautiful play on Bugle's part, though. Bashing his head on the table. He's done it. He's happy.
Thank you very much.
Yep. He has won the Continental Championship.
Fellow Colorado player, so
Woo.
can't say that
He
I'm
had
not happy
cards
for
on
him too.
under his